Sylvie and Allan here.
3, 2, 1. Ed Stasium, you're on the air.
Oh yeah.
Thank your maker for a friend like Adika. Boom.
Chalk and wax. Chalk and wax. All right. Wax. Chalk and wax.
Talking wax. You're all here. Other boy, everybody here? Who's here?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Welcome,
yeah, we're all
welcome.
here.
I'm here.
I think I'm here.
Roll
You're
call.
here.
Roll
You're
call.
here. Okay. I got to help one of the guests to
Wizzy.
get in here, but there's people here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the evening. It is Saturday. It is November 14th, 2020. It is me, Stefan Adika, and my friends, Ed Stasium, Michael Oife, and the wizard, Pat. Okay, here's where we're at, guys. Big record day, big sales. Two guys below went crazy, Ed. They went to Walmart. They're re-releasing vinyl. It's all over the internet. The people are yelling about it. The fans are going crazy. Who wants to go first? Because I got to help get Sylvie in here. So I'm going to bounce out. Ed Stasium, you be Adika. You host these guys. But who, what, where? Oive called me up in the morning. What were you doing this morning at 6
What are
o'clock
you
a.m.?
doing?
Oive, what's going on? Ed Stasium needs to know.
Dude. All right.
How
Let
many
me just
Kiss,
get the obvious out of the way.
how many Kiss records did you get?
5.
Oh my gosh.
All I can find.
You
But I
know,
want to get this one out of the way.
okay.
All right. Let me just get it out of the way because it's the obvious choice for me. So, boom. Ready?
Boom, boom, boom.
Here's where this. I love the vinyl. Watch this. This thing is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Aha. La 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 la. Boom. Look at that.
Beautiful.
That is
So
really nice.
fine. So fine.
Really nice. Really nice.
That
Oh,
Kiss
yeah.
so doggone fine.
Well, you sound good, Ed. You know
That
what,
sounds
man?
good.
The other day when I think it was when Uncle Jeff was on, you were singing with you were singing with Aunt Kathy and some doo-wop, and you had the harmony was great. You were doing the high.
Boy, good.
Like, you really
I
got
can,
those.
I can get up there, and it's my upbringing in Danilo, New Jersey, in the train tunnel with my cohorts in high school. We used to go in the train tunnel because it was all delay in there, reverb. We used to sing doo-wop songs in there.
Yeah,
That was cool.
So fine. That was one of the songs we sang.
You know what? I just Sylvie's having a hard time. I got to get her in, but yeah, you were hitting those high notes, and I was like blown away. I was like, whoa! I go, you could have been one of the Belmonts.
Want me to guide Sylvie and you stay on the air?
Yeah, you want to guide her. I sent her a second link, and then if you could guide her in here, help her out. Give her a call because
Okay.
she just texted me. Alrighty, all right, Ed. We'll bounce you out. We'll wait for you to come in. And see, so you got the Kiss record over here. Alrighty,
Yep.
all right. What else
Yep.
did you get, Oive? Show us everything you got right now.
No, I'll go quick because there's a lot.
It's okay. It's
Okay.
okay. We're waiting for guest number 2, and they're
Okay.
getting this. We're
Well,
here. We're here tonight, guys.
They're not
so-
all open, so I'll show you. Here's this one I did open. It's a double vinyl. It's a gatefold. Okay, which is killer.
Oh, the
So
Guns
what's
N' Roses.
really nice,
Mhm.
dude, they did a great job on the vinyl. Look at this. This is it's called a splatter vinyl, a gray splatter.
Oh, the Guns N' Roses one, huh?
Oh, look
Is
at
that-
that.
So that's the Guns N' Roses greatest hits that you got there?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are the songs on that?
The songs would be obviously "Sweet Child of Mine," "Welcome to the Jungle," "Shadow of Your Love," "Patience," "Paradise City," "Knocking on Heaven's Door," "Civil War," "You Could Be Mine," "Don't
Mhm.
Cry," "November Rain," "Live and Let Die," "Yesterday's," "Ain't It Fun Since I Don't Have You," and "Sympathy for the Devil."
Oh, wow. All right.
Ooh,
All
nice.
right. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. That's a good one.
Very
It's
nice.
funny
Is,
that Guns N' Roses' greatest hits. It's like yesterday when they came out. I saw them at the Ritz 2 nights in a row. It's God. Is that the new AC/DC you got on vinyl too?
Oh,
Yes.
look at that. Oof. I
Okay.
hear that's a fantastic
Yeah.
record, by the way.
Boom.
Oh, that's what? Oh, that's great. They have that there, huh? How much was that one?
It's green vinyl. Everything was $15.
Wow, that's a great Charlie Brown one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Hang on.
Mm.
It's actually see-through. You can't really see through it, but
It's
I
kind of
don't have a light
transparent.
behind me. Yeah, it is
Cool.
transparent.
That's cool. Look,
Da
at
Vinci Girardi. Yeah.
look, Mitch Weissman
Yeah.
wants that AC/DC.
You're gonna love this one, Stephen. 50th anniversary. Boom.
Oh, no way. The Sgt. Pepper. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's
50th
cool.
anniversary.
That's cool.
Look at the Oy vey, check out the spine. It's upside down.
It is?
Yeah, look at it. Look at the words.
Sure the hell is. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
If I can get it close enough. Anyway. Also, boom.
Abbey Road, yeah.
Ooh.
I just
I think
got
this
that
is the
one.
anniversary edition as well.
It's the remastered one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Wow.
Stefan, I
wonderful.
think you just got that one.
I
Right?
did. Yeah, I did
Boom.
get that one. And you got the Let It Be. Wow, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And blue vinyl, Boston debut album. The album rocks. I've always loved this record.
Yeah, I do too.
Boom.
Very cool.
And
What did you do? Buy the whole store? I hope you have like stock in the place. Like you gone and like never. Oh, you got rumors. Oh, that's
clear
cool.
vinyl. Look at that. Boom.
Very cool. First time on
First time
clear
on
vinyl.
clear vinyl,
Let
yeah.
me hold that up for a
And-
second. Let me see. That's my favorite Fleetwood Mac. Look how hot Stevie
Okay.
Nicks is. Man, look at her.
Oh yeah.
Great album. I love the photos on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
said
What
it last time
a
on the show, yeah.
classic, man.
Mm-hmm. This
What a
cool.
Rachel Bolan, if you're watching this is for you, buddy.
Oh,
What?
I was
What,
excited to see this.
Dirty Rocker soap you bought?
Boom.
Oh, the Eagles. Oh, that's funny. That's for him. Live
he
at the
hates
farm.
Yeah.
the Eagles.
That's cool.
How do you hate the Eagles?
I don't know.
But no, this is a double vinyl, and dude, come on, you can't beat that.
So is that
All
the,
right,
that's
and
the
last-
Black Friday sale? Is that what's going on?
It's like Super Saturday since I can't do Black Friday.
Gotcha,
Because
gotcha.
Black Friday is going to be a
Classic
online thing
album.
only.
Back in black.
Scott Harris, don't be mad.
Yeah.
Scott,
Yeah.
don't be mad.
Not the
Very
original,
cool.
but still great.
Colonel's sitting here going, "Fuck yeah!"
Man, you really. I asked to show some records, not the whole
Yeah.
store. It's like,
And I have something I want to say.
it's
I'm going to
like
share this.
slowly. I turn step
Yeah.
by step, inch
By inch.
Man, oh man.
I
Okay,
wanna
what else
thank-
you got?
Linda Foster sent me a really nice gift. Check this out.
Let's
It's a
see.
5-album box set.
Whoa.
ZZ Top. It's called Going
That
50.
is awesome.
There's 5 records in here,
Wow.
and it
like
comes with a kick-ass book and everything. Pretty
Like a
badass.
giant compilation of like every just
And-
separate songs.
Stop it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, boy.
unbelievable.
Here he goes. Here he goes.
And just
Wait.
because it was there, I already have it. But
Yeah.
the orange vinyl Destroyer.
Oh.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, the resurrection.
Okay.
Resurrection.
That's funny.
Resurrection, yeah.
That's
Right.
funny. That you got that for Ed Stasium over there, right?
It
Let's
did.
get it. Let's bring Ed Stasium
You
in
can
here.
send him
Ed, where are you? Ed, you see that?
I'm looking through my Kiss records over here. Oh,
I want. Well, you.
I don't have any.
Ed, you don't know what this man just.
I don't
went and
have
did.
any.
He bought the whole Walmart. He changed his name to Michael Walmart. That's his
Yeah.
name. Oy vey Walmart.
Always they Walmarts.
I never saw
Very-
somebody just go so crazy. and,
Michael Walden.
Michael. You just
One
went
mark.
nuts.
Only mark.
You have one more. Oy
Oh, I
vey,
got
or
3
you
more.
done?
Oy vey. One more.
Oy vey.
Go
All
ahead,
right,
go ahead, Pat.
All right, Pat. What
Oy
did you
vey.
get?
Well, I
So-
pretty much got the same thing. Of course, I got the Kiss. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been collecting the remastered stereo versions of the Beatles, and I was missing Sgt. Pepper, so I did get this. So
Yeah.
I didn't go hog wild like he did, but
Did you open that one, Pat? Or you know what the packaging's like? I didn't open mine yet.
no, I haven't had a chance to open it at
Ed,
all.
I believe Dion is on the cover of Sgt. Pepper, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's on there.
He's on there. Dion in the
Dion's
bottom.
on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great cover. See, Ed has the original. He don't mess around. He doesn't mess around. Yeah, he's on it. There's a lot of cool
Look at
people on that album cover.
I do.
You can sit there and look at it for hours.
I
Great.
do
Figure out who they are.
You have that reissue though.
You do.
Where the hell's Dion? Oh God!
And Stu Sutcliffe
Here,
is actually
he's right
on
here.
it.
Here he is. There's Dion.
Ah,
Wow.
There he is. But it kind of looks like Steve Lawrence. Are you sure that's not Steve Lawrence you're looking at?
Where's
It might,
Edie?
it might be Edie. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
what's
I think
Edie?
it's Steve Lawrence, that
Is it
one.
Steve
But
Lawrence? I think it's Dion.
no, but Dion's on there.
I think that's him, man.
We need him, Ed. I know you don't want to do it. You might have to break out the magnifying glass.
Well, you know what?
I'm not blind.
I just happen to have one right
What the hell? We can make the magnifying glass look cool. Come on.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's cool, Ed. You got a Laurence Olivier marathon man.
You
Is
look
it
like the
safe?
guy from
Is it
Monopoly.
safe?
Little-
It's
Little
Dion.
monocle.
I'm telling
It's-
you.
I think you're wrong. I think it's Steve
What?
Lawrence.
Google that
Uh-oh.
shit. Put it go.
Steve
Dion
Lawrence on a
Sgt.
Beatles
Pepper.
record?
Let me see. Show the picture to the screen again. I'm gonna look. Let me look. Eagle eye or ego, they call it. Okay, I can see that good. Okay.
Stefan will be the
Okay.
judge.
I see Brando. I see Tom Mix, right?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think that's Oliver
Olivier.
Wilde over there, right? No, Oliver Wilde. All right,
Oliver
wait,
Wilde.
hold
And
on.
Dion.
Is that Dion next to Tony Curtis? That's Tony Curtis right there next to Dion. Is that okay? It looks like Steve Lawrence, but it could be Dion. There's
I'm
W.
in there too. I'm over here. Here I am.
Hold on. There's Marilyn Monroe. There's Edgar Allan Poe. Who's in between Edgar Allan Poe and W.C. Fields?
I can't see looking
Oh, come
backwards
on,
like
move it.
this.
Okay, maybe you're right.
That's Dion. It's got to be.
Then who's behind Dion with the sunglasses? Who is that?
I don't
Ed?
know. I do not know. There are listings on Google. I have seen them. There's a chart and that shows who everybody is.
Mm.
But we're not going to go there right now.
No, well, I love the album. I could be all night on the album. Okay, all right. You say it's Dion, I say it's Steve Lawrence. Okay.
You
all
say
right.
it's Dion. No, I say it's Dion. You say it's Steve Lawrence.
I do.
Right.
It doesn't rhyme at all. Okay, everybody. Mitch Weissman, who played Paul McCartney in Beatlemania. Dion is amazed. He's on the cover. Also, Google. So Mitch Weissman, fake Paul McCartney. That is Dion, then, right? Okay.
Hey.
I think. Well, come on, Mitch Weissman. He made out with Joni from Joni Love Cha-Cha.
He did.
Some
I know, you lucky bastard.
Yeah, you
I
did.
know. He turned on Joni. How about that, huh? There are a lot of things. We're gonna have a great show tonight, everybody. So listen, you guys, we're gonna take you guys. We'll bring you backstage. We'll bring you guys back up. But we got legends and legends tonight. Ed Stasium is very excited. He's Hakami China all week. You're not
Looking as
getting-
sharp as
You're
ever.
not
Look at
getting
him.
this. You're not doing this. He's like going crazy. He goes, "You haven't Sylvie on?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I just got the man, Ed. You know what? You could do the introduction. I'm going to bounce these guys out.
No, you do the
No,
introduction.
you do good. Come on, Ed, you got radio voice. Come on, Ed.
I'll have to get real close to the microphone.
Okay,
Mm.
hold on, guys. Watch
Okay,
it.
so tonight on Talking Wax, we have two fabulous guests. We have music journalist, and ukulele player and singer-songwriter extraordinaire Sylvie Simmons, who has an incredible history of writing for rock and roll magazines from Kerrang to Mojo and everything in between. She also wrote the Leonard Cohen book, the biography,
Mhm.
and the Debbie Harry.
right.
That was out. Yeah, she's a freaking legend, dude. Yeah, she's a legend.
She is a legend.
I've known
huh?
Sylvie for, there she is. Hi, Sylvie.
Hi.
Hey,
Oh,
Sylvie, how you doing?
Oh, while you were talking about Kiss, I climbed up the shelves and got my original Kiss swag, which was a transistor radio from the
Oh my God!
Oh,
Oh,
that's
Isn't that
fantastic.
cute?
Oy vey.
Oh,
You
oy
see
vey.
that?
You have one of those?
Got it.
Yeah, you have-
I got it in the box still.
Oh, I've also got a Kiss
Yeah.
barbecue. That's rather nice too.
Oh my goodness!
Hey,
You know what?
Sylvie, you know
Sylvie?
what's funny?
Mhm.
We thought when we were little that we thought that it only played Kiss music.
That's true.
They really shouldn't have. They missed out on that. They probably tried if Gene Simmons had anything to do with it.
Right.
That is true. All right, Oy vey, we're gonna bring you back here. We're gonna talk Kiss. All righty. And now, Ed, come on. Now, next, this is gonna be a round table. We're gonna bring all the guests with us
Yes.
right now. All
Horror,
righty.
stage and screen, television and cinema. The director of Rock and Roll High School was where I first met Allan with the Ramones. Allan has gone on to direct literally hundreds of television shows, and a film that he did that was never released on Blu-ray is coming out next year. He told me about that, but you know what? Because I'm such a dope, I can't remember the name of the film. But Allan will tell you all about it.
Allan Arkush.
Fabulous Allan Arkush, and there he is. And
Welcome, Allan and Sylvie, very much.
I know Sylvie's a rock and roll warrior with a pen. Yes. I mean, you look at the list of everything that Sylvie has done and all the bands she's interviewed.
And stay so young and virginal.
Oh my goodness! You know what? You both Allan and Sylvie, you guys have so many stories. It's not going to be enough time tonight, but that's why we'll bounce the other guys in. But respectfully, I want to give you guys the screen. I mean, right now, Allan, right behind you, we could tell you're a man that's not messing around. Right there, you know vinyl, and Sylvie, come on, I know what you know already, and you've done a lot. And actually, Sylvie does have really quick, everybody. She has new music coming out because not only is she a journalist and a writer, she has a record out right now. Sylvie Simmons, Blue on Blue. And you know what, Sylvie, I got to tell you, and I was listening to it, and I hear Marian Faithfull in you. I hear it. There's a little Marian Faithfull. I hear it, but I'm a big Marian Faithfull fan.
She stole everything from me.
Everything, right? I knew it.
Marian Faithfull, but I think you know, she's got a much deeper and more kind of suave voice than me.
No, but I was doing a little homework on you too, and I saw some music you did of Leonard Cohen. I saw a video that you were doing, a beautiful tone in your voice. I was listening to this, but this record now, this is on vinyl as well, correct? The
Blue on Blue? Behind me, on top of my synthesizer.
Can you hold that to show our audience really quick, that vinyl?
Okay, my 2 albums. I have just 2. Mm-hmm. And the first one was the first one that came out with Sylvie. This is Blue on Blue.
That is the vinyl blue or no?
That's vinyl. They're both vinyl.
Yeah, is the vinyl color blue on that or not?
No, that's all black, but they made some fantastic colors. I don't know what color one this one is, but they made a kind of latte colored one on Light in the Attic for my first album. Let's see what this one is. Oh, it's the black one. And they make a turquoise one as well.
Oh, they do? How wonderful, huh? How cool is that? Very cool.
I had tears in my eyes when I opened it. No. Actually, we were everywhere. I was just sobbing my heart out when I got my latte and turquoise color vinyl. It was so
That's wonderful. Cool. It is cool to have your own record, your own vinyl collection. You know, so you guys both have records out there, and the records that match your story. Now, Allan, you have a fantastic story. The films that you've done, but let's take you back, Allan, because Allan, right before Allan came on here, there was the Ramones, Rock High School, all the films he's done and TV shows, but Allan did a movie that I was so into, and I remember being on tour, and I go, I gotta see it, I'm gonna miss it, and I had to pop it up really quick here. It was he directed The Temptations, and what a movie! And fantastic, Allan.
It was of all the things I've done, I get the most feedback from that and Rock and Roll High School. But the feedback from Temptations is people who say they watch it together with their family. Yeah. And it's a Christmas thing, and it's an older generation who like the Motown songs, and then with their children and grandchildren. And probably one of the greatest things in my life was just walking down the street with Smokey Robinson is enough.
Wow.
Wow. Like, black women of a certain age totally lose their shit.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about the music that Smokey did, how he turned on the Beatles, just everybody, what an influence he was, and his studio. Now, did you go down to the actual the Motown studio, and did he?
We went and we looked at a lot of pictures of it, but it's too small, and Detroit didn't have enough of a film business to support it. So we built. We were going to build a duplicate of it. All right, so we lay out the tape on the floor to see how big it was from the original dimensions. And we all stand in and we go, Suzanne DePass was the producer. Go, Suzanne, it was this small? She says, think of it with 30 musicians in here. I said, we can't shoot in this size. She says, you'll make it look small. So we made it about 10 feet bigger. But it was a great experience, and having Suzanne DePass by your side to guide you through all this. And for me, the goal was to find the person in myself and put on screen who stood in front of the mirror and sang Temptation songs with a hairbrush, you know.
Yeah.
And I told the camera operator, Steadicam camera operator, in some of the songs, I said, you are the sixth Temptation. So we're shooting right over there and do the dance and move around with them. So there's 40 songs in it, you know. I had lunch with Smokey. He told me how he taught the band My Girl. And I just wrote it up as a paragraph. I never wrote a page. And I just had the guys do it, you know, just like Smokey wrote it. And about 2 weeks later, we're shooting. And it was a very difficult shoot because of it covers 40 years. And African-American male hair changes a lot. We had a tractor trailer full of wigs. And so we were on this incredible time change. And if we missed something late in the day, we had to pick it up. And we had 12-hour turnarounds. The guys are in every scene. And I'm losing the light. And my first AD is looking at me. She goes, we got 10. We're going to get this. And all of a sudden, my cell phone rings. And she goes, don't pick that up. Don't pick that up. And I pick it up. And I said, hello? And this voice says, Allan? I said, yes. This is Smokey. Smokey Robinson? Just in case I was, you know. And I said, Carol, Smokey. He goes, you've got 1 minute. And I said, what's up? And he says, I saw the scene where I taught the guys My Girl. And I want you to know you got it down, man. That's exactly how it happened. I said, thank you. He says, what can I do to be in the movie? And Carol's looking at me and goes, he wants to be in the movie. And now she's coming closer, right? And he says, I said, why don't you be at Melvin's funeral?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're the same age, you know, it's not that far apart. He goes, could I sing a song at Melvin's funeral? Oh, yeah. Yeah. He says, well, I actually wrote a song for the movie. Would you like to hear it?
Wow.
And Carol looks at me, she's going, hang on. He's going, Carol, Smokey Robinson wants to sing to me now. She goes, 10 minutes. And Carol and I sat in the curb in Pittsburgh with the phone between us, listening to Smokey Robinson sing.
Fantastic.
That was an all-time in my life.
Yeah.
I can't top that. Nobody can top that. I can't top that.
No, huh, Ed?
But you were talking about doo-wop music, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were.
Yeah.
There was a window in my room into the other world. And that person in charge of that window was Murray the K.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Murray the K. Yes.
Okay.
Let's hold that up. Look at this.
That's it.
The fifth Beatle.
And that's who I listen to every single night. Murray the K and the Swingin' Soiree.
Fantastic record.
Right?
Look at that.
And this one. I wish I had tapes of Murray's show. But that's how I heard all that wonderful, majestic, emotional doo-wop music.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
And that's what really connected me to the Temptations. A group that the Temps loved that I found out was the Dells. I know this isn't vinyl.
Yeah.
But I don't have a Dells vinyl, but the Dells and the Rhino doo-wop box, I've got all of those.
Oh, wow.
And so that was my youth until February 9th, 1964.
When the Beatles came on Ed Sullivan, correct? That was it.
Speaking of, I just have
you know,
to have
Oh,
Ed,
you got one.
Ed,
Blast from the past.
Hold that up, Ed. I had that when I was a kid. Oh my goodness.
I got that one too, Ed.
Yeah.
I got that one.
Oh wow, Ed. Let me see the back of Blast from the Past. That's because I used to hold that when I was like, yes, that was it. Oh, what a great album. What a great album as a kid. Yeah, that brings up memories. See, this is what it's all about.
Who wants a rock and roll factoid with Murray?
No, that's great. That's great.
When Dylan went electric, okay, at Forest Hills Stadium, which was the second concert, the first half of the concert was introduced by Jerry White of the Jerry White Folk Show, because I used to listen to it, coming out in a red suit to introduce Bia Zabi, Bobby Zillin, was Murray the K. And he got booed. And out comes a band that we would give our entire life savings to see again.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So Murray introduced them.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Murray the K, the fifth Beatle. That now there's a story about that because he was the DJ that broke for everybody out there. I guess he's the DJ that broke the Beatles on the radio in New York. Is that correct? The
It
story
was,
on it?
yeah, and he got
Wanted-
into there. The Ronettes told the Beatles about Murray and how cool he was. So when he got to that giant press conference, the one where they made the big splash, he got his hand in the air and he said, "Hey, my name is Murray the K," and they all went. And the swinging soiree, they knew all about him from the Ronettes. And so that's why he ended up in their hotel room and broadcasting from it and all that.
That's all
What
that.
you got there?
You got there. It's a record.
We had a question about what label it was. It's on.
It was on Chess. Was that on Chess?
Chess. Yeah, both of them they're on Chess. The ones I have are on Chess.
They really are, huh? The ones. Okay, I forgot about
Now,
that.
Sylvie, in the UK, you had a lot of influential DJs. With Radio Caroline and all that business. Did they? You were listening to that when you were a kid, right?
Oh, absolutely. But we only have 4 Beatles in England. This is the first album. Oh my God, I love this thing so much.
Oh wow, is that the original?
I ever got. I don't know how I got it. I guess it must have been a birthday thing. But I remember Hard Day's Night coming out, and I had to go with my brothers. Like my older brother had to hold my hand. I mean, he doesn't know. But I mean, back then I was too young to get in. And so we went to see Hard Day's Night, and they used to have B movies. You had to sit through the B movie before the Beatles came on. And I sort of made us sit through the B movie twice so we could see the Beatles twice. And I don't think he's ever really forgiven me for that. But the Beatles just came along. It was like a big bang, suddenly there's the world.
Yeah.
And suddenly there was the Beatles, and I'm entirely damaged, ruined, and in every way elevated by the Beatles. And
that's excellent. Now, you remember the Broadway show Beatlemania? Yeah, of course, everybody's remembered. This is Mitch Weissman. He played McCartney, and Mitch says Murray was our advisor on Beatlemania. Spent a lot of time together. I didn't know that either. He was great to hang with. So many stories. Yeah, Mitch is a regular on the show, but wonderful. That was another. Picture that story. When that was out, all the Beatles were still alive. Lennon was living in New York City.
Right.
And Mitch actually was invited to have tea in the Dakota with Lennon, and he declined because he had to go maybe grab his laundry or something crazy.
I know. I go back to your question, Ed. The pirate radio was amazing. In England, we pretty much had 2 TV stations, BBC and ITV, one being the government one, the one being independent. And we had just had BBC radio, the light radio. And so they wouldn't allow anybody else to kind of broadcast. And so there was a ship that was just off land, it was out there in the English Channel somewhere. And every now and then it would fade in and out of stuff. But they played the best music. They were wonderful. It was so eclectic and so brilliant. It was like living in front of some sort of conveyor belt where great new music came every day and you just got to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, you got the good pressings right there with those Beatle imports to us. I mean, that's because we had Meet the Beatles. You had more music on your vinyl than we did, and
well, you're bigger and better than us in some ways, so we had to make up without having our Beatles.
Isn't it so funny, Alan? Isn't it so funny because the vinyl from there, we wanted their vinyl, and they want.
Can you see that over here?
Yeah.
This is a Japanese box set pressing on virgin vinyl.
I get it.
Virgin vinyl. This vinyl has never had sex with any Beatles.
Wow.
And it's all their records.
That's great.
I'm not
interested.
Otherwise, I'd bring them all in. I've got so much. Anything that even mentioned the word Beatle. I even bought one of the original copies of the Beatle Barkers album where they have dogs singing Beatles songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can go and find it while you're.
Oh my goodness! I don't even know.
Let me off a moment. I'm going to go and dig it out.
Okay, yeah, that's something I've never seen before. Okay, wow, how cool is that?
I got to be a DJ in college.
Wow.
I went to this all men's college before I went to NYU in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So it's Amish country. And so that means that the women in Lancaster can only ride in horse and buggy. So it's not happening, and it's 1966 and 7. So the world is exploding. And someone said that there's a college radio stations. Do you want to go down and, and I was constantly playing my records in my room anyway. So I go down there and, I'm really excited. We're going to talk music. And none of the guys were interested in music. They wanted to turn dials. They loved the whole electronics. So they immediately gave me my own show on a Friday afternoon, which I expanded into Friday night. I had like a 6-hour show. And I play all my records. And about 2 or 3 weeks into this, these boxes of records would arrive from whatever the distribution to get college people to play new records, and everyone would gather around. All the seniors would elbow to the front, and they had very different tastes. I remember that they tore open the box, and it was like a fist fight over the soundtrack to Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Oh,
yeah. And then all the Johnny Mathis went, all the Herb Alpert went, and basically I'm the only one left in the room. And I'm looking through this, and I recognize this name, but I don't know where. And this is what I took out of the box.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let
Right.
me help put this up there. Oh wow.
This is it. This is my original copy of the Blues Breakers with John Mayall
That's beautiful.
On London.
and with Eric Clapton. So then I'm digging through the box, past whatever leftovers they had. And at the bottom of the box are these 4 faces looking up at me. And there's nothing written on it but the name of the band. I turned it over in the box. There's nothing on the box but the name of the band and the songs, and which was very unusual. So I take it out of the box.
Oh wow.
And this is it.
And you
So I take the Doors' first record back to my room, right? And after we finish our homework, me and my roommate play the first side, and immediately reacted from Break On Through, and we get to Light My Fire. And now we just put down our homework. We had this thing where I had all these psychedelic Fillmore West posters, and I take a Noxzema, an empty one, and turn it upside down underneath a tensor lamp. It would make like a purple light.
Yeah.
And we turn the record over. And all of a sudden, this band is singing about anal sex. And, right? And we get to the end of the side, and my roommate listened to the end, and he said, wait a minute, did he just say he wanted to kill his father and fuck his mother? I said, that's going into heavy rotation, that song. So this is it. This is the original one. It's signed by John Densmore.
That is
Wow.
cool.
John Densmore is in Get Crazy. That's the movie you
Wow.
can't remember.
I'm sorry, Alan. It just slipped my mind. Getting
That's
old.
okay. Here's the original
Oh
soundtrack.
yes,
That's the
lovely.
original
Fantastic.
soundtrack right there.
One of the worst covers ever made.
Michael Ventura, Ramones, Lou Reed.
Coming
Wow.
out again. Yeah.
That is wild. That is wild.
And
It's-
Alan,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. I find your history most fascinating. Finding out when we were doing the Rock and Roll High School that you were an usher at the Fillmore East, where I
Right,
attended
yeah.
many shows. Were you there from the very beginning of when Graham took over the Village Theater?
I was actually started at the Anderson Theater as which was across the street.
Yeah.
And so I was a customer, and then Graham came across the street and opened up the Fillmore East. So I saw opening night as a customer. I saw Big Brother and the Holding Company, Albert King, and Tim Buckley.
Tim Buckley. I was there.
Were you there?
I was there, but it's a funny story. The drinking age at that time in Manhattan, in New York, was 18 years old, and my girlfriend at the time, the lovely Karen Strauss, like a first girlfriend kind of thing, she and I would go into Manhattan. We were only 18, so we would go to the bars and hang out on St. Mark's Place. It was hip. It was the Village. It was 1968. It was March 68. And we were going in for quite a few months before that. And we turned the corner to go south on Second Avenue. And lo and behold, what was once the Village Theater.
Right. And before that, the Lowe's Commodore.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I only know it as the Village Theater. Right. Yeah. In November of '67, my first show was in order of openers. Tiny Tim opened up, then Vanilla Fudge, and then the Yardbirds with Jimmy Page.
Whoa.
At the Village Theater. Yeah. Anyway, so we make that turn. I look up at the marquee, and it says Bill Graham's Fillmore East. Big Brother and the Holding Company, Albert King, Tim Buckley. Whoa, people we love. Let's go. And it was like, 7 o'clock. What was it, 8 o'clock show, something like that? We just walked right in, bought a ticket and went in like that.
$3, $4, and $5.
That's right. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Yeah.
And I went then and I saw Hendrix and Sly in April.
Uh-huh.
The Jefferson Airplane, and the Who, and a show which has now come out, which was bootleg but is now out.
I was at that show as well. Now they played.
So was Joey. So was Joey Ramone.
Yeah. I was at the Friday show, I think.
And so then I got a job. My roommate was an usher, and so I got a job as an usher.
Unbelievable.
And so I ushered, and I was there as an usher the night that this premiered. Oh, you got a program.
I have several programs.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first night of Tommy, all the ushers came over my apartment, and we listened to Tommy almost to beginning to end and ran to work. And that was the night that the theater caught fire while the Who was playing.
Yep, yeah, I remember that well.
And then I got on the stage crew.
Yeah, oh, fantastic.
So I saw everybody from up close, you know.
That's so great. Yeah, I saw the Doors there like in 2 weeks after that. Just kept going for a couple of years, you know. The
level of professionalism was unbelievable. The sound was impeccable.
Like I never heard anything like it before. I was used to high school gyms, band.
Oh, and
I was hearing you saying that, Alan, about the sound system there. So the sound was incredible, huh?
Well, what happened was that right next door, literally 1 foot away from the Fillmore East, was the NYU Drama School and the Theater Arts School. So all these people who couldn't get work on Broadway went next door and designed sound system and lighting systems and basically invented the modern rock concert.
Wow.
And so they would come in on Sunday nights and tune the theater and do stuff that no one else was doing, But we were really strict about sound checks and stuff. It was Christmas of '69. The headliner was Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And we had never heard of the opening act. And they had their album cover in the lobby, and they were sitting naked in a stream, looking kind of inbred. Okay? And they are about 4 hours late for the sound check.
Oh my God!
And we find out, because I don't want to tell you who it is yet. We find out that the night before, their roadie, not Red Dog, I can't remember that roadie's name, had stabbed the owner of a club over the fact, and he was in jail for manslaughter because he hadn't paid them. And we're waiting, and now we used to mop the stage and remember, Ed, how perfect it looked.
Unbelievable.
And now it's like 6:15 the show, the doors open at 7, and the two worst looking VW hippie vans in the universe pull up. And it's them and their short one roadie, and we haul all this equipment in. And this is before communications. We didn't know how many people in the band even, because there was no record. So we unloaded, and that's when we found out they had 2 drummers. And the amplifiers are held together with gaffer's tape, these big Marshalls. And they have 2 guitar players. And they take out these 2 guitar cases, and they open them up, and there's 1950s Les Paul Gibsons in them, which seemed incongruous. And they set up, they count down, and they go into Statesboro Blues.
Damn.
And it's like a scene out of a movie, where everyone comes out of the door and goes, "Who are these guys? Who are these guys?" They're the Allman Brothers band.
That's great.
They weren't allowed, they only played 25 minutes that each set. But we took a poll, and we signed a petition to Bill. And Bill brought him back 6 weeks later, and it was the Allman Brothers and the Grateful Dead, and then the rest is history.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That is history.
They had never gotten food or drink backstage. That's how. And I went and got them. I said, "What would you like to eat?" And, "I'll get you some." They said sandwiches. I said, "Would you like some deli?" Blank. Would you like pastrami? I don't know, man. They're from Macon and from Florida. So I went to Katz's and I got them sandwiches, and we became best friends. And
wow, you turned them on. So
I turned them on. Every time they came back, they wanted pastrami.
Other guys that turned them on to weed and stuff like that, and Alan goes, "Hey, I got pastrami, man." But don't tell me.
And so the punchline to all of this in my life is, so they played there on and off many, many, many times. So now they come back, and I am in the Psychedelic Light Show, which went from Joshua Light to Joe's Lights. And they come back to record a live record. Thank you.
Yeah, right there.
Holy cow, yeah. And so they come back to record a live record. And the first 2 nights are kind of a bust. And I don't think there's much on the live record from those 2 nights. And we were not doing the light show because of various contract things. And so Dwayne cornered me in the hall and he goes, "Why aren't you doing the light show, man?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'm getting this." And he goes, "Come with me." So we go down to Bill's office, Graham's office, and he says, "I want the light show tomorrow." And we came here to have the whole family see all this stuff. So Bill says, "Can you do it?" I said, "We'll do it for what it costs." And so you're on, man. And so the next day I come into the place to set up and I see Red Dog, the roadie, and he goes, "Dwayne left something for you in the dressing room." Oh, great. And so I go up there and there's a bag of pastrami sandwiches from Katz's and a bag of mescaline tablets. And the end result, right?
That's the end result
that
right
kid
there.
yells whipping post.
That's it. That's great.
3 a.m.
Wow.
That's wonderful. What a great cover that is too, man.
It is. It's the alleyway right outside the theater.
Yep.
Beautiful cover, man. Excellent. That's a great story, huh? I love the pastrami sandwich thing. Come on. From an East Coast kid from Brooklyn over here. I love it that he turned the Allman
I
Brothers.
know they never.
It's great. Sylvie, that record, I want to see that Beatles album that you have over here. Look at this. Do you guys, I've never seen this.
Markers. Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
It's like, "God, I want to hold your hand, love me too, obla-dee, obla-da." It's pretty awful, especially with Hal. But there's some really good things. I used to put it on at parties when I wanted to get rid of people.
Oh, really? Really?
Really loud, and even the guy who was as horny as hell would be forced to leave because it was so awful. It's just dogs singing, but they're synthesized in an early version of dog noises.
Oh my God.
So it's quite a thing. I found this one, I didn't even know I had it, called "We Love You Beatles," and it says that it's the best of the Beatles novelty records. I mean, there's
Wow.
so it has Jack Meacher doing Beatlemania. I can't remember how that is. Casey Kasem doing Letter from Elania. Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. So I don't know. It looks quite fun though.
That does look fun. Look, if you hold on up that cover, what a great
It looks
cover.
like a Mort Drucker drawing, doesn't it?
It
Now?
does.
It does, yeah. It does, yeah. Look at that.
Cool.
Very cool. I've never seen that cover. I never
No,
seen
nor
the
have
cover.
I. Good one.
It's like part of my very long and huge amount of Beatles. So were you talking about the first shows you went to while I disappeared, was working so hard? First one I went to was Donovan was headlining.
Oh,
And the opening act was Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wow.
But here, this is a signed copy of Gift from a Garden, a Flower. But I hid my little program from the concert in there so I wouldn't lose it. I bet it's gone now, actually. I haven't looked in here for a while. Oh, don't tell me it's gone.
You'll
Yeah,
find it, Phil.
You have a that's a fantastic collection she does have. Julie just set out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, I think. Maybe. Yes, Donovan in concert.
Oh, that's lovely. What was the venue, Sylvie? Where did he play?
I thought it was at the Royal. No, it wasn't the Royal at Albert Hall. Though. They used to have this thing where you could just pay 5 shillings, which is nothing, 50 cents or something, and go and stand upstairs and look down at stuff. This was at the Royal Festival Hall. Everything's royal, isn't it? I like the inside. It's such a cool program.
Beautiful. And this is this is when Tyrannosaurus Rex was just a duo, correct?
That's right. And my absolute vivid memory of it, and I think only maybe girls would appreciate this, and very young girls, but both Mark Bolan and Donovan wore exactly the same shoes, whether they swapped them and borrowed them, but they were Mary Janes. And so for the longest time, I would never wear Mary Janes because Mark Bolan and Donovan had them. Those were the innocent days.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
past.
Those fantastic times. Very cool. Very cool. Man, yes, we could have had a match with Sylvie and Allan right now because
They could come back. Well, we could have a small.
we could have
we're a brother and sister in another life. That's
That's
completely
right. That's right. I think we might have to have a match down the road. Yeah, now it's about the stories and the pastrami sandwich, the stories that people don't know about, the back scenes. So Allan,
I think I've got one thing that joins in there. Todd Rundgren cooked me a burger, a veggie burger.
A veggie burger.
Nice.
It's in with that, a veggie burger. I was doing an interview with him, and he was staying at the Sunset Marquis in LA, and it was one of those rooms that has a sort of kitchen. And he said, "I'm going to make you a veggie burger." There was no, "Do you want one?" or "Can I force this thing upon you?" I recall it was pretty awful, but back then you didn't have very good veggie things. You know, they probably didn't have the ingredients. And I remember it kind of gave me a sore jaw trying to kind of get through this thing. Probably too many nuts. But that was my food being made by staff.
Now, was it a frozen? Was it fresh? Do you recall if it was fresh or he had?
He was making the burger from. He was actually putting things together. He had very big hands. I remember the burger looked tiny. It looked like a meatball in these giant hands of Todd Rundgren.
So he was actually making a fresh in the hotel, fresh veggie burger in the hotel, not frozen, just fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
That's good.
That's scary. That's scary.
On the job.
Yeah. How funny? How funny is that? That's cool. Now, do you recall what year would have been him with the veggie?
It was when I think the first Utopia album came out.
Wow. So he was on the trend way before it became
ahead of his time now.
Ahead of his time.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Very cool. Very cool. So now Allan, so at the Fillmore, take us back now. Okay. So that time in your life.
Oh my God. Yeah.
At the Fillmore after the Allman Brothers.
So I was going to NYU in the film school, making my student films, learning, from the greatest teacher in the world. Marty Scorsese was my film teacher.
Wow.
He was he graduated 3 years early and was out of work. So he was like, he's like a TA teaching this course, and he was always asking me for tickets to the Fillmore. And
Hold on, Allan.
I can all guess.
Oh my God.
Okay, you've got 10 seconds to guess what band did Marty want to see more than any other band.
Wow. I'll have let's have the audience, everybody in the audience, whoever can guess it right now, you guys in the chat, let's put it up here right now.
You got tickets for Spooky Tooth. I remember The Who, but this group, this was the beginning of his love affair with this group.
The beginning. Anybody in there? Come on. Just the facts. You might know it, Dan. Come on in there. I see you guys in the chat, but who knows this one? They don't know, huh?
This was his first dance.
We got Wow Scorsese.
I think we have an answer.
Right here, right there. Is it
Mr. Antonio 2005 says the band.
The band. We got the band. That's right.
He had to have fourth row tickets, and I got an A. Okay, wow. I got an A in that course, and all I got to say is it is what it is,
Wow.
So,
did they film that over at the? Was that film? Where was
no,
it?
No, that was filmed at the Fillmore West.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll share with you my favorite backstage experience.
Okay. Please.
So I get out of NYU in the afternoon on Fridays, and I go there and I pick up a van, and I go downtown and buy beer and soda, and sometimes broken coolers, new coolers and stuff, and dry ice and ice, and bring it up and fill the dressing rooms. There was 3 floors of dressing rooms that I did, and then I get the band's food, and usually it was no contract writers in those days. It was like, you want pizza, you want deli sandwiches, you want Indian food from across the street. And Saturdays, the theater would be empty, and I would get there like at 4:30 because I had to carry all the beer and soda up the 5 flights, And this is a weekend when the Grateful Dead were there. And the Dead did not have a great history of playing in New York City, because I saw them in '67 at the Cafe Go-Go, which is like the first week they played. Wow. And that music, what I say, it doesn't travel well, And then when they played with Janis Joplin in '69 at the Fillmore East, that was great. So now they're back, and it's June of the same year, and they played a great show Friday night. So I'm half asleep. I'm carrying the stuff up, and I'm back into the Dead's dressing room holding all this beer and soda. Boom, hit it with my ass, turn around, and there's Jerry Garcia playing the guitar in the dressing room. And this is Jerry Garcia, who's on fire. You know what I mean? This is the Captain Tripp's 26-year-old Jerry Garcia. And I go, oh, I'm sorry, man. there we are.
I've never seen that photo. That's awesome.
Wow.
Wow.
That's great. Killer.
And he's playing guitar. He used to get there early, and it's just him, and he's smoking a Camel. And there's a backlight coming in the window, and the smoke is all around him. And I say, I'm sorry. And he goes, no, man, do what you got to do. So I'm putting the soda away and everything, trying to start a conversation. And I stumble around, and he's just picking away. I says, I love the last record. You know, it's Oxa Moxa, you know, which is actually only okay, but you know. And I say, but this is a great record, Jerry. Thank you. I especially like that song on it that's called Mountains of the Moon. I goes, oh, thank you. I said, do you ever play it live? And he says, no, not really. I said, well, last night's show was so great. And he says, well, tonight's going to be better. That's why I'm here. I said, boy, well, thank you. And all of a sudden, he starts playing Mountains of the Moon. And I stopped putting away the soda and sat there while Jerry Garcia played Mountains of the Moon for me.
Wow.
And sitting in this dressing room, I'm 20.
Wow.
And 19 or 20. And I just said, thank you, man. He goes, later. And
listen later. Wow.
And they played magnificently. And that night this is the day, we took all the sound system out of the theater and brought it up to Central Park for a free concert the next day with the Dead and the Airplane in the band show.
Oh, man. That must have been a killer show.
And the Dead, when they played there, it was like they played there so often that you were friends with them. You know, they were there, and we stayed friends till he passed away. Yeah, he was a big film buff. But Ed, have you've been to my apartment in L.A. that old one when the Ramones came?
Yes. Well, no, it wasn't. It was a home, wasn't it?
It was kind of a house. Yeah. So he would come there and watch movies. So I bring the Ramones there one night when we're doing Rock and Roll High School to show them Hard Day's Night and talk about being rock stars in a movie. Because Sylvie, that's the movie that changed my life. Okay. I saw it the first night. And I came on that movie and my parents said, how was your Beatle movie? And I said, I think it was really well directed. And it just came out of my mouth. So I was going to show the boys, you know, the movie and get to know them a little bit. And so they come in. Of course, they did what everyone does in those days. They go to your record collection. And they're tearing through my record collection. And you've heard this story, Ed.
Yeah,
and
great.
Johnny goes, what the fuck is this? I said, what? He goes, you like these guys or what?
Oh, come on.
I said, yeah, it's Grateful Dead. I like them. He goes, how can you like the Dead and us? Explain that to me. And so this is like the beginning of this relationship. And so I said, well, John, do you know the auteur theory of filmmaking where the director is the person, the author of it, and every one of his movies has a similar touch? You and the Dead, the Ramones and the Dead, are pure auteurs. If for some reason you played Truckin', it wouldn't be 15 minutes long. It would be a snappy 2 minutes and would sound like the Ramones, and they could probably take Want to Be Sedated and stretch it out. So that's why I like both of you. And he goes, oh, all right, but don't play that shit around me.
That's a great story.
And then Joey pulls me aside and says, I went to a Dead concert once. I said, where? He says, Roosevelt Stadium. I said, did you like it? He says, I fell asleep.
I think I told you, Alan, that my Dead experience, a friend of mine lived across the street on 6th Street. On 6th Street there, right across from the stage door. And I was crashing there once in a while when I was going to SVA. And he said, hey, you got tickets for the Dead tonight. And we went to see the Dead, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I woke up an hour later, they were still playing the same song. Yeah. But it was a great experience, you know, going there. And I remember
there were nights, you know, People ask what the great shows were,
Yeah.
All of them.
I think the most exciting band I ever saw at the Fillmore East was The Who.
Yeah, that was for me. That was a
Who in
top.
their prime in those days.
So good.
It was like you're looking at a nuclear fission,
Yeah.
The way that the energy kind of came out of the center of it. And you got this feeling that they may not make it to the end of the song.
They definitely were one of the bands. Like they had
go off the road.
Yeah, they had the punk rock attitude to Who. They
Yes,
were reckless. They definitely did. They had that punk rock. And now it goes the whole punk rock because the Ramones. And then we also have a question from Norma Jean was asking for Sylvie. Because Sylvie, how was it working with Deborah Harry on her book Love Blondie? And there's a connection with the Ramones and Blondie. I know that. Big connection.
Who isn't going to love Debbie Harry? I mean, she's so fascinating. I think probably the only difficult sides were she's very, very private. And it's very hard to write a memoir with somebody who's very, very private. And so I think she was spending a lot of time deciding whether she actually wanted to tell the stories or whether they were too much or whether she wanted to cut them down. But of course, it's fascinating. Her life has been amazing.
Yeah, a little hidden secret there. I remember Dee Dee telling me that we all had a crush on Debbie. We all thought she was good looking. I remember him saying that to me. And I don't know if one of them, they lived with them or they were staying at one of the guys back in the day, and somebody was staying with somebody. I go, did anybody ever hit on her? No, we never did, but I wanted to. Very funny, but yeah, she was sexy, huh? She was something else, Deborah Harry, back then too.
What was really interesting, she said, was that, when she met, pretty much the whole time she was in Blondie up until, their first breakup, she was totally monogamous with Chris. Yeah. And then she got all of her fun and games in beforehand. So sort of a period of just having the best fun in New York with whomever. And then when Chris came along, that was it. So instead of doing the usual rock and roll thing of going wild, she said she actually was at her most, I guess, calm in that kind of way.
Yeah, it's funny because we talk about the Who and Clem Burke. He's very much like a Keith Moon on the drums. You match them all together. Which Clem also for a short stint was in the Ramones. So that whole circle, how it all goes. Which he was Elvis Ramone.
Elvis
Ramone for a minute, and Clem has in his dressing room when they play a show. I saw him several times here in San Diego when Blondie was playing, and he puts up a little shrine with Ringo and Keith Moon in his dressing room.
And in his bathroom, he's got like pictures of the Beatles, photos of Beatles on the wall.
Yeah. He is a Beatle guy. He's definitely a Beatle guy. I mean,
Sylvie.
Yes.
I'm quite interested to know what gave you the inspiration to become a writer. Were you doing this when you were a young child, and why did you go into? I mean, you're a female in this overwhelming world of male dominance in the music journalism field, and you're right up there with everybody, in my opinion, and I'm sure Allan and
absolutely,
yeah, you're right up there. You're still writing. You have articles in Mojo almost every month, and so what was your influence? What was that bam moment?
The band moment was a very easy one. I decided that I was going to be a singer-songwriter, and I did my first show, which was with a huge Woodstock-size audience of about 8 people in a pub. And I went to sing my first song, and it was going to be a Joni Mitchell cover from Blue. And the only sound that came out of my mouth was stage, but it wasn't a stage, so I just ran and hid behind somebody. And so it was the time-honored cliche of those who can't want to be a singer and can't become a rock writer. But I'd written lots when I was a kid. I used to write a little magazine that nobody saw except me, lonely child that I was. And I also was a tap dancer and singer on the stage when I was a little girl. So music and words were pretty much all I had going for me. And when I decided that I couldn't possibly be a singer-songwriter, I became a rock writer and just decided I wanted one. You don't train for it. In fact, they probably throw you out if you went to school and trained. I turned up. I got a couple of assignments in London for like it wasn't a music magazine, it was a kind of pop girls magazine. And that was really boring. And I managed to kind of con my way out to Los Angeles and became a rock writer the second I got there.
A rock writer, huh? But you have some career you have. I mean, from all the bands that you did write about, from you Johnny Cash. You got Johnny Cash. You got Leonard Cohen right here. You have look. I'm going through your Motley Crue right here. Right. Look at you over here. And then, of course, the guys that my co-host, their favorite band, Kiss, over here. I mean, a lot going on, huh? A lot going on. So, Sylvie, what was your first writing the break for you? The first one, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is the first, like the start at, I guess what I'm saying is, who's the first celebrity or whoever you wrote about that, oh my God, I'm going to interview this person right now and write about them?
The first one that was really rock was Steely Dan, and it was in 1977. And I moved out to LA, and back then you could have a one-way ticket, thank heaven, because I couldn't got enough money out of somebody for a round trip. And so I was out in Los Angeles, and because I'd written a couple of little bits about people like David Cassidy and the Osmonds for this pop magazine, for which I will go to hell, I was asked by the record company in America, who had been in touch with the English company, and they had those telexes, the little kind of dots and dots. And they said, oh, yes, they said, you're a journalist. Do you want to interview Steely Dan? So I said, yes, please. And went to meet them at the Beverly Hills Hotel, the building. Mm-hmm. And I back then, in a way, it was sort of hard to do a lot of research because there was no Google. You just had to know it or you didn't. And you got a press release and that was it. But I loved their music, and so I was really hardcore with them with my interviews. And they were trying to be really kind of mean and sarcastic, but they thought they couldn't do it to this tiny little girl that was in asking questions. So they decided to try and corrupt me instead, which was really fun. Like, would you like some cocaine? And I'm like, what's that? And the next thing was, we want you to meet our friend Root Boy Slim, who's got a band called the Sex Change Band. So it was a very interesting interview. They let me take their photos, and I sent it to the UK press people, or I called the UK magazines, and a magazine called Sound said, yeah, send it. And they put it on the cover with the photo I took. So
wow.
First thing that
wow, wonderful,
fantastic,
very cool, very cool.
The rest is history. And then you turn into a singer-songwriter again.
But a long time later, that was in the 2000s. So I put in a good few decades of writing before I got the nerve up to try again.
Yeah, what made you get the nerve up again? What made you say, okay, this time I'm going for it? To get that nerve up to be an artist?
Really is Leonard Cohen. I was his biographer. It was a sort of book that he gave his support to, and it was a long, long slog, as these things are. And at the end of it, I thought, I'm going to be going on a really big book tour. And the publishers, they really aren't that interested in that kind of thing unless you're J.K. Rowling or Debbie Harry. So I thought, well, I'll go on the road with my book. And then I thought, well, that's scary because I have to stand up and talk to people. I'll take a ukulele and play Leonard Cohen's songs and sing them. I mean, I know his songs back to front. I'm a human jukebox of Leonard Cohen from over the years. I loved him so much. And I thought I would do that. And by the end of that tour, I was, commanding stages with real audiences and not in the least bit scared about it. And a musician friend of mine called Hal Gelb from Giant Sand, whose music and musical instinct I just adore, had been pressing me a long time to kind of do an album of my songs with him. And so we jumped in the studio and did that golden colored album I showed in a day and a half, live to tape. No more terrifying way to make a debut album. Can't change anything.
Wow.
That's what it is. So when I did that, I just thought I better do another one. I guess it's like having a baby. You should have a second one to keep the other one.
Yeah. Very cool. Now your new record that came, when did that come out? How long's that been out already?
Just a couple of months now.
Okay, so it's a brand new baby, huh? It's still okay. It's not walking. It's still out. It's still out there. Okay. Wonderful.
Relying on me to do all I can to keep it alive.
That's wonderful.
I'm so pleased with it.
Great stories. So now, were you, Sylvie?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a chance now to go to the Fillmore and do any interviews yourself back then?
Not to the Fillmore East, no.
Oh, huh.
So most of the time when I was in LA from that 1977 to 84 period, with my real early years of writing, I was in LA and it was like a non-stop party. It was one thing after the other, and also getting sent on the road with bands a lot, because back then the record companies had this endless money that they'd earned from the artists, and people like myself were really the happy recipients of things like I showed my Kiss radio, and they clothed you and fed you every show you went to. There was a tab, so you could just make yourself as happy as you want. All of the major food groups, Kahlua, Cream, and Peanuts. It was really good. Kept me alive, and it was just one non-stop party. So I think the first time I went up to San Francisco and was to see the last Sex Pistols show.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And then the year later in 78, I went on the road with the Clash. And
Wow.
they traveled up from LA to San Francisco. So
Wow.
speaking, I ran back down to the heat of LA. It's freezing to death whenever I went to San
I want to know the last Sex Pistols show. I'm curious about that. What was that like? If you could take us back and that whole show, man.
That was really interesting. A friend of mine, Richard Meltzer, who was this well-known rock writer, he was the one who got me a ticket to go in, and he was being the MC for the show. It was quite wonderful. The band, I actually saw them before the show went on backstage. They were sitting around a low coffee table. It was covered with plates that they were using as ashtrays, and every one of the ashtrays was overspilling, and there was just beer bottles. And they looked like kind of cigarettes with half the tobacco poked out. They were just really pale and flopping over. Yeah. And they were miserable and cussing at each other. And then they went into the show, and at that point, John was getting quite snarky with the audience. Like, how do you realize you've been conned, or one of those lines?
Right.
And then there was a big party afterwards. And I do remember that Britt Ekland was there. It just seemed so
Britt Ekland.
Bringing, the whole team of the usual going to rock star parties. That, if it was a Rod Stewart party, of course it would be Britt Ekland. But she was also at the Sex Pistols. I must have asked her something, because I usually would do. Going up with my giant sort of little big cassette recorder and asking for a quote, but I can't quite remember what she said. I could probably look it up in a few minutes and tell you. But.
That's funny. Britt Ekland at a Sex Pistols concert. That's great.
Nice.
It's great.
No, she was at the concert. I think these.
At the party.
For the party afterwards. You're a party person, or you're not.
Wow, what a wild scene that must have been too, huh? Back then. I mean, that's fantastic story. And then from there, the Clash.
Yeah, Clash. They were kind of interesting. Joe Strummer was really miserable about being in America. He was
really
very, very politically conscious, and he thought that he was selling out. And so I remember after the show, 3 members of the band went into the back of the bus to kind of have a post-mortem, and another member of the show was left with me. And how can I say this? I was trying to interview him. As I started interviewing him, a girl sort of jumped on, because the bus wasn't going at that point. It was outside the Santa Monica Civic. And she started, how can we put this? I'm not sure how adult this is. But let's say she was like helping him out in the lap department. But yes, that's probably the best way of putting it. So to try to actually interview somebody when something else is going on and you're trying
oh my God.
only in their eyes, it's like something is going on down there. It was really, really interesting. But I'd gone to a quite posh girls' school where we were taught very good manners, where you always look somebody in the eye, and if you're at a party that's awkward, you turn around to look at the person next to you if you can and speak to them. So I just let this go on. I mean, I hadn't encountered this yet in my, at that time, 1.5 years as a rock critic. But
wow.
Yeah,
Oh my. Sylvie, you should write your book.
oh no.
Yes.
Yes. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating story.
It
Your
is.
whole background, your transformation from wanting to become a singer-songwriter to a journalist to, again, back in the driver's seat with your singing songwriting. I would recommend. I'd read it.
Well, I have to say about the Clash, I think my favorite member of the Clash was Mick, because as soon as we got to San Francisco, he wanted to find the record shops just to go out and buy all that good American vinyl. He doesn't seem to show much interest in that area.
Excellent.
Excellent. I have my little girl pulling on me, so sorry about that for a second. Over here.
Daddy,
Sorry about that.
Daddy,
No, Daddy, what's a Sex Pistol? That's what's going on right now. No, your stories are fantastic. I mean, what Ed was just saying too, fantastic stories. How about just with the Ramones, Sylvie? Any run-ins with those guys now?
That is the weirdest thing. There's been very few bands that have got away, and one of them was the Ramones.
Really?
Because there were people who were sort of taking care of like the New York scene. I was out in LA or I was back in England. Those were the two spots. So it never really happened. I got to meet them a couple of times at different things, but never really got to know them.
Wow, interesting. Huh? Interesting.
Yeah, I actually asked Sylvie at one point to do liner notes for one of the box sets. And she gave the same answer. And she didn't really know the boys and never, really worked with them. So
wow.
She turned me down.
Yeah.
I'm glad at least I'm consistent in my answers. Yeah. When did we meet, Ed? Was it like about 82 or something?
Yeah, I think it was 82, around there somewhere. Yep. Yeah. Sylvie and I had a mutual acquaintance, and we met way back when. My first jaunt to Los Angeles. I lived there from 1981 to 84, basically. Then moved back to New York. And that's it. So we've known each other like forever. And we weren't really in touch really, but then, this magical internet thing called Facebook, we connected again a decade ago. And, that's the one great, honestly, if it wasn't for that stupid ass Facebook, I wouldn't be in touch with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that did help us to get back together on track. And, here we are, doing a webcast on a lovely Saturday evening in 2020 when we're all freaking isolated from COVID. Amazing. Yeah,
well, this is where it's at right now. Now, Allan, I want to ask you now. Okay, you talked about Marty Scorsese, the band, and Marty used to actually bust your chops. Go, hey, can you get me tickets for this? Can you get me? Yeah. How wild is that, huh?
Well, he was my faculty advisor. He taught me film history. And so I guess he was about 26 or 7. So he was still working on Who's That's Knocking at My Door. Yeah. And so he hadn't done anything anyone had seen yet except his student film. And he was just really an inspirational person. And he ended up working for Roger Corman on Boxcar Bertha.
Okay.
And then Roger needed a director for a movie called Night Call Nurses. That Roger was starting his own distribution company. And so he was making these movies for about $80,000, $100,000. These genres like 3-girl genre, women in prison, car chase movies. And he asked Marty, because someone had quit, who did he like? And who's good? And he gave him my name and he gave him the name of Jonathan Kaplan. And Jonathan Kaplan came out here and did Night Call Nurses. And one by one, Jonathan worked at the Fillmore and the stage crew also. So all of us who were friends ended up coming out here one by one and starting in 73. And I worked for Roger for 5 years.
Wow.
And, that was, for me, that was my graduate school. And so right now I'm teaching at the AFI. And so what I am doing is I am synthesizing how Marty taught and what I learned from him, synthesizing what Roger taught me and how I learned from him, and Debbie Allen, who is another mentor of mine, and Bruce Paltrow, and teaching film students. And and they are really interested. And I actually do little seminars outside of the normal bounds. We all meet, I call it office hours.
Wow. And
we meet here in my office. We're going to meet Monday night and talk about romantic comedies and gender change.
Oh, that's great.
Last week we did this one. They saw this album standing in one of the things, and they said, "What's the Bob Dylan record? Tell us about that." And I said, "Oh, there's a story here. Another time." So they all wrote me, said, "What's the story? What's the story?" So we did a film class called "The Ascendance of Bob Dylan." And talking about how, like the Beatles, Dylan caught on so quick to what was going on that he started manipulating the people, you know. And you have talk about Donovan, right, Sylvie? Don't Look Back.
Oh, it's almost.
I actually teach that movie in class. The scene where Donovan sings a song for you and then makes the dumbest mistake in the world, and he gives Dylan his guitar and says, play a song for us. And he sings It's All Over Now, Baby Blue.
Wow.
And, you know, watch that again. You could not write it better. There's no wasted motion in real life. It is just like the scene. So I show that to them. And so I do all these different classes. I do a class on the history of songs and movies and needle drops. And starting with a song that defines a movie to such a degree that you can't think of one without the other. And I was going to do Over the Rainbow. I ended up, as time goes by, with Casablanca. And Breakfast at Tiffany's, you know.
Moon River.
And none of them have heard. Do you guys know who Kenneth Anger is?
Of course, yes. He did the Hollywood Babylon book.
Right. They don't know that Kenneth Anger did Scorpio Rising, which is the first movie to use pop songs in it, ironically. And, you know, when I showed them Scorpio Rising, and I said, this is the first step in queer cinema. It was like, I became the coolest guy in the room. And I've shown Quentin Tarantino's, you know, stuff in Jackie Brown is particularly good, and Scorsese's
Casino.
No, Goodfellas. The scene of Goodfellas, where he's selling the coke, selling the guns, making the pasta sauce,
the helicopters.
And Harry Nielsen.
There are 7 songs in there. 7 songs in less than 5 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. You know, the one thing about Scorsese and the songs he picks, it's crazy because the songs were classics before, but then after it's in the movie, all you could picture is the end of Layla is the garbage, the body's in it, the end of it. And the crazy story about that song, about Layla, and I'm sure you have the vinyl there, because with me, my attention's all over the place, ladies and gentlemen, so please forgive me. But the story of the drummer, do you know the story about him? He killed his mother, but he wrote that Jim Gordon, legendary drummer, played with Lennon, played with Harrison, played with Derek and the Dominoes. He heard voices, North Hollywood, he was living, and he killed his mom with a hammer. So, and he was in Central Coast.
Crazy story.
Yeah. It's a crazy story.
That record, very important record to me. I was just graduating from film school. I was working doing the light show at the Fillmore, and Derek and the Dominoes are doing their one and only tour. And the album hadn't come out yet. So there was like a 45, and that was it. And we knew Clapton's, you know, material, but we tried to get to know the song. So we did our lighting cues and everything. It made it seem like it was happening, not live, but also scripted. And so I came down to the stage to watch their sound check, and I stood, you know, 8 feet from Eric Clapton while they played, and watched and tried to memorize the songs and understand it. And I had an epiphany that he's only 3 years older than me, about that. Maybe he's 4 years old, but and he did not look at his hands when he played the guitar.
Really?
He just closed his eyes, looked to heaven, or looked at the other musicians. So the technical skill, what he had to do body-wise, was in his soul already.
Wow.
And I just all of a sudden got really depressed and said, I will never be a director until I can play guitar without looking at my hands. And it became like this thing for me that I had to learn all these complex skills. So in all these meetings, I could say, I want this here, I want that here, you know, 3 feet off the ground, get me an apple pie, all this millions of things. And it took me like 20 years. And I was producing a show called Shannon's Deal, which was on NBC. And Wynton Marsalis did the music, and we actually had Iggy Pop on it once. And the idea was that we would hire really great feature writers and give them a chance to direct. And they would give us a great script. But not everyone is made to direct. And I was the producer, so I had to be on the set with them. And one of these guys didn't really do a very good job. And I realized that I was going to have to stand next to him and direct it for him. So I went home over the weekend and wrote an entire shot list for the movie, like a musician's sight reads. Reading the page and going, this should be an over the shoulder here, close up, we're going to move in. And I realized that now I could do it without looking at my hands. It sort of all of a sudden hit me that I could just read the script like it was music, you know.
Wow.
So I owe it to Eric Clapton, and
man.
I owe it to Richard Meltzer. Richard Meltzer wrote for Crawdaddy magazine. Do you know Crawdaddy? Anybody?
I do. I have
It was
some.
the first rock magazine.
Yeah.
And I was this rock crazy kid and walked into a record store in the village, and there was this magazine about rock, which was like treated it like I was treating my term papers about English literature.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it just said, you can actually be serious about this. It taught me critical thinking. And I've always wanted to meet one of the writers in that magazine that I've worshipped, John Landau.
Right.
Wow.
John Landau's columns challenged my whole thoughts about music because he had very different tastes than I did. But he was always so right. And so he wrote for it Sandy Pearlman, who went on to produce the Blue Oyster Cult, and Richard Meltzer.
Yeah.
I mean, Richard Meltzer writes this article about Are You Experienced, which I always will remember, talks about it in terms of French cave paintings and all this stuff.
Oh my
And
God.
Richard and I kind of became friends. You know.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Very cool. Great
So we all at some point, rock and roll stole us, like the line in Almost Famous, rock stars have stolen my son.
It has. It really has.
We got taken.
It has. It was just the school of rock. It definitely was. It changed. I mean, my whole life changed. It was two things that changed with me. Was the first album, which not as cool as yours, Sylvie, but I didn't have With the Beatles. We had less songs. Meet the Beatles. I would stare at that album. That was like a Bible. And then from that, we'll be right back, Ed. But from that, okay, Ed. From that was another record, and it was a movie. Which Alan, I'm sure, of course, I don't even have to ask. It was a Let the Good Times Roll. It was a movie with Bill. It was a double album. And it was a movie with Little Richard. Chuck Berry was in the movie. Bo Diddley, Danny and the Juniors. But on the album, it was on Bell Records. But the album did not have Chuck Berry. And when I got the record when I was a kid, I was so bummed. It was the Duck.
Have you seen that movie, Sylvie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The
Great
scene
movie.
where Bo Diddley is frying chicken.
Yes.
And he's explaining racism towards musicians like him.
Yes.
Fantastic scene. And he turns to the camera and goes, I'm not giving you a lecture. I'm just telling you how I live. You know?
Oh, now after this, Alan, I'm going to have to rewatch it. And for everybody in the chat, what a fantastic movie. What a great
Really
album.
is, yeah.
With Shirelles, Danny and the Juniors. You had Little Richard, which at that time, you got to remember when that came out, glam rock was big. And Little Richard, he was glammed out and he was just so out of control and flamboyant, but he was a total rock star. And then the movie with Chuck Berry with the duck walk, I was like, wow, it's the 70s at the big chopper.
We're actually, because I collect a lot of it, we're in a golden age of rock concerts on home video. You know, everybody who ever filmed something and lost the tracks or the tracks can't sync up, with computers, they're putting it back together, and just you can always find a concert or something on YouTube, or a live record. I mean, I did a little thing about a tribute to the Fillmore East on the 50th anniversary, and I just talked about all the live recordings. And it took me 30 minutes to go through all the live recordings because the sound was so good.
Yeah.
You know, and how many they've saved or they've made of it, you know. And I went back and listened to them, and you know which one at the time I didn't appreciate and now I really like? Humble Pie.
Really?
I get that.
Yeah.
You know, at the time they were like always on tour and, you know, they were good. But when I go back and listen to it now, it's like they're classic. You know.
Yeah. It. Oh wait, you're muted, Ed. Wait, hold on. You muted yourself, Ed.
Yeah,
Okay.
that record really broke Humble Pie.
It sure did. Yeah.
They had a couple records out before that, and you know, As Safe as Anything Is, and that when that came out, Rockin' the Fillmore, man, I Don't Need No Doctor, man.
Yeah.
That shit was slamming.
Yeah.
They were very dramatic.
Yeah.
The way they played with these very strong. The songs had a strong structure. So on the light, we all were on the light show and the spotlights, and all of us were on headphones. So we're all theater students and film students. So we would talk through the set and work out the structure, and we got to know the songs. And one of their songs was like this 20-minute guitar bluesy freak out that goes all the way down to Peter Frampton playing a little lick on the guitar after this huge buildup. And we knew it by heart. They played so many times. So the lighting designers, guy by the name of Arthur Shafranski, and Arthur has gone on to become a superstar. And I'll tell you, Arthur went on to do the Pink Floyd, and he did the Dark Side of the Moon tours and designed all that, and changed his name to Arthur Max, and is now one of the biggest production designers in the world. He does God, I can't remember his name now, but huge British director, Ridley Scott. He does all the Ridley Scott.
Okay, yes.
So Arthur would call the show like, you didn't fuck with Arthur. Arthur knew. So Arthur's like, everyone, I want to see everyone in gold, you know. We're in gold. And he says, and when that little man jumps up at the end, everybody go to black except you, Mr. Kaplan. I want a tight blue spotlight, not more than 6 inches on his guitar. 3, 2, 1. And it's building, and we do that. And the fucking audience rises out of their seats like, how did they know this was going to happen? The little guitar, like, it was so much fun to take the audience somewhere else on these shows and try to top yourself.
What fun. Yeah. Hey, we like to show other things besides vinyl on our little program.
Yes, we do.
And I just happen to have this little device. You'll see it's called a musical toy sound wagon. This was given to me by my good friend Rick Johnson, who is the proprietor of the Sherman Oaks Antique Mall in fabulous Sherman Oaks, California. I befriended him in the early 90s, and we hung out a lot. He's a great guy. And what it is a little Volkswagen.
Oh, that's so cool.
And with a motor in it. You put a switch on, and it has a needle.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do a little demonstration here. If I can get my shit together. I'm going to take a really trashed copy of the mono American version.
Oh,
I don't know that record. What is that?
It's a trash mono version of Rubber. American version. And hang on one sec. We're almost there.
That's funny.
Wait. I'm going to move this over here. And then we're going to carefully turn this down so you can kind of see. Can you see that okay?
Let's see over here.
You need more light. Oh, wait. Let me do this. That might be better. And we're going to place this little machine right here.
Oh, my God.
All right.
It's the Beatles of that's great, man.
Unbelievable.
That is cool. Ed, that is cool.
That is really cool.
it's good.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wandered into it. It's sitting in one of my, and the antenna goes up and down to turn the motor on and off.
That is it's funny. I was looking at those bands and I go, what a cool
Oh,
band.
Sylvie's pulling out the good stuff now.
It's a Volkswagen. It's a Volkswagen van.
That's right.
I don't even know when I got this, but it's When a Man Loves a Woman, Percy Sledge.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Size of this thing, size of my hand. And listen,
I've never seen anything like
Oh my
it.
goodness, that is
A
cool.
5-inch 40. Is that a 45 RPM?
hang on, I've got a rule nearby. Let's have a look. I can tell you how many inches it is. It's
It's like a 3-5 inches.
hey, where's the one? That's 3.
3. Wow.
That is killer.
I've never ever seen one of those.
When a Man Loves a Woman.
Great
How
song.
long have you had that?
Probably forever because I don't remember when I got it.
Did you get in the? Did you
For
get?
my Beatles fan club records. And
Did, were you in the UK when you got that? You were a real youngster.
Wow, that's
Wow.
killer. That is killer.
Couple decades
When my
ago.
girls were, Sylvie's got another.
this is Yellow Magic Orchestra, a band I used to love.
Wow.
Oh wow!
My
Crafty.
old single from Yellow Magic Orchestra. So those were very cool. I've forgotten I'd had it. I haven't looked through the singles in a long time.
Oh, I love it. I never
Glad-
seen those.
Glad that you found that.
I must have just bought it somewhere. Or it might have been from
Now, I want to ask you. I want to ask everybody here because I have an album, and everybody has those cheesy albums that nobody wants to admit they own, but they love of soundtrack albums. Everybody has a favorite, okay? And I bust Ed's chops on my favorite. Drive him crazy. It's a hidden little secret, okay? Everybody has. You don't want to tell nobody, but we all have it. Sylvie, do you have that record? This is a soundtrack, a movie or an album that you know, whether it's a Broadway show or just a cheesy movie, you go, I love the soundtrack. The movie is so bad, but
I don't know if there's any cheesy ones. I've got definitely favorite soundtracks. Do you want to know what they are?
yeah, it's one that you don't want people to really know, but it's like,
I don't know though. I think I want everybody to know this.
okay,
Yeah. All
Again,
right.
a whole bunch of them on here, which is Ennio Morricone
Wow.
connection. I was an absolute nut for Clint Eastwood, cowboy and Western type stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I got anything that Ennio Morricone did. So those were. I don't think of anything cheesy. I don't really like cheesy movies. It's weird. I used to like horror films.
oh, I'm a big horror film guy too.
Yeah. All his stuff for Argento is great. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I interviewed him one time. We had
wow.
an interesting conversation. I just got a black cat at that time. I was in London. I already had one cat, but it's the same about getting another one to keep it company. And so I was talking about getting a black cat, and he said, is yours insane? And I said, it's kind of a little mad, yeah. Why? And I said, it's very nervous. And he said, you know why? It's because all of the black cats in Europe, where I was living at the time, they all descended from cats that were burned because they belonged to witches. And therefore, there's no black cats in Europe that aren't somewhat insane or very frightened. I got that from Dario Argento.
Wow.
And I've never met a sane black cat in Europe.
Well, I've got a guilty pleasure,
Okay.
which I don't have the soundtrack album for, but I do have the theme song.
Okay.
It's from 1961, and I saw it at the Lee Theater in Fort Lee, New Jersey, and it's called Where the Boys Are.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's great.
And Connie Francis just has the pipes and belts it out, and it's a story of all these young girls discovering sex and boys in Fort Lauderdale. And I really like that movie.
It's great.
I do have a funny, so my daughters would come up here to listen to music. I would be teaching them music and movies and stuff. And, when they were about 8 years old, one of them said, Dad, what's the most valuable record you have? And I didn't know, so I lied. Okay. I lied. And I said, it's this one.
Oh, it's
And I
a
said,
great album.
because the banana's not peeled.
Oh, that's an original with the banana not peeled on it.
Not peeled banana.
Wow.
Oh
wow.
my God!
And they would bring their friends up and say, don't touch it.
Don't-
It's my dad's valuable record.
Oh, wow.
That's great. That's great.
It's
So they
you
bought that.
mentioned kind of people who used to sing into a hairbrush and everything with the song. I did that with Connie Francis when I was little because my dad had bought this single that was "Who's Sorry Now." I might have been
Oh, yeah.
I was that with my little kind of voice with my hairbrush doing that.
I graduated my girls to that record right next to you, Sylvie, by your left hand.
Which one is that? This one?
Right behind you there.
The sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers.
Yeah.
And I showed them the zipper and everything.
Yeah, I got the zipper and the pubes are still intact. Well,
Yeah. I got one unzipped and one zipped.
Oh, you do? That's great. What?
It works. It hasn't gone rusty considering, it's an old age pensioner, this thing.
Is that Sylvie? Is that the original that Stones one?
Oh,
What a great album. Every song is great on that.
Flawless.
Wild Horse.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
It's isn't it funny for a band like the Stones from their first album where it was all covers. When you think about the Stones, they were basically a cover band, and how they changed each Stones, like when Brian Jones, the Mick Taylor, the Ron Wood, but that period is just fantastic.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
It's a fantastic record. Yeah.
Main Street.
This one's not bad.
Oh, that's a great one. Get Your Yayas Out. Excellent album.
I went to this concert. It was great.
Oh, you did go to that one. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a fantastic cover of Charlie Watts.
I actually went with a young girl, who was the model for Riff Randall in Rock and Roll High School. She was a pure rock believer, and we were friends. And she went to, you can appreciate this, Sylvie. She saved up her money with her two friends, and every Friday night they would come to the Fillmore East and buy a $3 ticket and hang out in the lobby looking for empty seats. Mm-hmm. And they loved the British bands, and we got to be friends. And so we used to let them in, and we'd argue about music and talk about music. And that's where the model for Riff Randall came from.
Wow.
And frankly, I think that's the main, as much as I love the Ramones, but that to me is one of the main reasons the movie still endures, is because of the character of Riff Randall and how she will not be stopped, and she will not be told what to do. And she's an original thinker,
That's great. That's great. Excellent. Ed, you're next. What's your guilty pleasure?
I don't have a guilty pleasure.
You don't have one, huh? Ed.
I don't think so.
Come on. I'm a big David Soul fan. Come on. Don't give up on us, baby. Come on. I love the song.
I like
Sylvie. Are you a David Soul fan, Sylvie?
Well, I wouldn't say I was a fan, but I got the first single when it came out. So.
Great song. Great song. Come on, Ed. You don't have one guilty pleasure.
Yeah, okay. I guess, I don't know. I really enjoy Paul Revere and the Raiders records.
Oh, they're good.
Fantastic.
They're good. And it's all the studio. It's a Wrecking Crew playing on all that stuff. But
It is, huh?
Great stuff. I think some of them play it here and there on it, but I do enjoy those records. And they were looked at as a kind of a teeny bopper band, but I like them from the get-go. They're great songs. Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart wrote a lot of those songs.
Yeah.
Fantastic songs. And and I do like I like some Tommy James stuff.
Tommy James and the Shondells.
Shondells, yeah.
There's a lot of good songs he had.
Yeah, and Clover, Joan Jett covered that. Crystal Blue Persuasion. There's a lot of really well-crafted pop records. He was kind of also putting that bubble gum. I wasn't crazy about that Hanky Panky song, but the stuff that came out later, I think We're Alone Now is great.
I think,
it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great song. I mean, hey,
what an arrangement.
Yeah,
great, fantastic.
I mean, I'm a big Partridge Family fan, and I would drive Dee Dee crazy with it because when I was out with him, I'd play it before we play on. Before we go on the stage, I had it in the dressing room, and I would play the Partridge Family, the greatest hits, and I was nuts with it. And I loved David Cassidy. What a great voice he had. Sylvie, had the pleasure of interviewing?
Was that one of the first things I ever did?
Yeah, David Cassidy. I mean, what a legend. So. And he was great. He was just a great singer. He really was. He really had a great voice, a mature voice for a man of his age when he was a kid. Think about it.
A man of his age when he was a kid.
A man of his age when he was a kid, because he was young, but his voice sounded so much older. It just to me, it did. The way he sang, he didn't sound like a kid.
I only know. I think I love
Partridge Family memorabilia. Really, really on the edges of rock knowledge. Okay. Wendy and Lisa, Princeton Revolution, still Wendy and Lisa, met because both their fathers played in the Partridge band. They were
kidding. I did not know that.
Wow.
That's a great
and they told me that they used to practice and they formed a band, and their father had some big birthday party where the entire Wrecking Crew was there. And the father pushed them in to sing a song in front of all these guys. And they sat it, so they had some of those guys sitting in on the drums and everything, backing them. And they sang Everyone Knows It's Windy, but they changed it to Everyone Knows I'm Wendy. That was their first concert, they told me.
That is very cool. Very cool. Here's my record. All right. This is the record that I like. This is the one, Ed. Joyride with ELO and Barry Mann. It was a movie with Desi Arnaz Jr., Anne Lockhart, Melanie Griffith, Keith Carradine. All righty. And this album, Joyride, what a great, fantastic soundtrack it has on here. First of all, Barry Mann, The Best I Know, great song. Tightrope from ELO, right? Jimmy Haskell, Dancing in Alaska, an instrumental. Can't Get It Out of My Head from ELO. Boy Blue, ELO. Another great instrumental, Eating Dog Food. Telephone Line from ELO. It's just a great album. And this album, for some reason, I just can never get enough of listening to this record. The craziest thing, but Joyride.
Do you know that movie, Alan?
Alan, do you know this
movie?
movie?
I know the movie.
You don't know the movie. It's actually
it's called Joyride. You said
Joyride with Desi Arnaz Jr., it's Robert Carradine. I'm sorry, Anne Lockhart and Melanie Griffith. That's who's in it.
Is it a Crown International movie?
I don't know. The album's.
Do you know who directed it?
Yeah. Let's see. It says directed by Joseph Rubin.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of remember it. Yeah, I think he directed a cheerleader movie that was a big hit.
And it's written by Joseph Rubin and Peter Rainier. Yeah, and I guess Anne Lockhart. It's funny. It's all the children of famous actors and actresses, and Anne Lockhart's supposed to be the hooker. And I guess they go on a joyride. Desi and Robert Carradine. They're going to rob some Midwest town, and they get into trouble, and that's what it's all about. But it's a cheesy movie, but. That's my thing. Hal Landis and Bobby Roberts presents a Bruce Cohn Curtis production, Joyride.
That makes sense. Yeah. He makes cheesy movies.
It's one you got to, Alan. It's one you should check out. I recommend it.
Joyride.
I love finding a movie that's bad, but then I like it. It turns good.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So that's my one over here. And well, you know what? Tonight's been a wonderful time, and you know, Sylvie, you have a pretty great collection over here. Alan has a really big collection, but something can take down Alan. You never know what can happen because we do a vinyl game here. And usually the people in the audience in this chat, they're the ones who vote. Now, everybody who's watching, if you'd like to see a match with Sylvie and Alan, right here, put it in here because I think it would be a fun game with them too. You don't know who's going to win. It's the story behind the vinyl that really takes it.
Okay.
But you could have a box set, Alan, but then Sylvie could pull out a little 12-inch or something and it could take it down. You don't know. The 12-inch, you don't know.
I got in those drawers, I got 400 cassette mixes.
You know, right here, we got Royce in the house. That's cool. I like to see that. If you guys want to see that, yes, please. Linda Foster, yes, please.
Thank you.
Just the facts, they're going yes. So I think Kevin Riley goes yes. You know, they want to see this. So I think we might have a good match here. Now, remember, Ed Stasium, legendary producer, was taken down by Rachel Bolan from the rock band Skid Row with a Partridge Family record. That's right. He lost, Ed. Just believe that. The man, you produced this beautiful music. You have a great collection. And what happened? You lost out to Keith Partridge. It was right, Ed? You did lose out.
Keith, man. Got popped by Partridge.
Yeah, look, Bob wants to see it. I mean, I think we might have a good round here. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it's all yes.
Alice says yes right there. You see it over there. Kelly says thanks for all the stories here. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. I have to say that Sylvie and Alan, you've been terrific guests.
Yeah.
And we'd like to see you again with more.
Oh, it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun time. It goes on. It's already, an hour and a half we've been chatting.
An hour and a half. And I want to bring the guys. I'm going to bring the other guys. I'm sorry I had them. I just wanted to concentrate on you two, and I didn't want to bring so many people on here. And I'm in the chat. I'm sorry if anybody was trying to get our attention. I just wanted to try to concentrate because when I'm reading the chat, then I lose my memory, and I am losing as I'm getting there. But Mitch Weissman, he's going to be there. Alan, you haven't met Mitch before?
No, I haven't. No.
Beatlemania of the Winter Garden. Great guy, great musician. Mitch, he was the face of Beatlemania. Look, all these people are going crazy now. They all want to see it. Let me bring the Wizard's Lair, and over here, these are big Kiss fans. This is the Kiss army right here, and that's now Sylvie. You have some Kiss connections here. You got some Motley Crue connections, and we didn't even touch on all this other stuff. You have,
Yes, my dodgy metal yes, for sure.
Yeah, you have a lot of stuff. So we have right over here. This is Michael Oive, Crazy Kiss fan. As you can
I
see,
bought your book, Sylvie.
yeah,
I bought
did,
her
huh?
book. I bought her
you
book.
did.
Yeah.
And then we got we have the Wizard's Lad. He's the one who gives out the records to our contestants. Another Crazy Kiss fan right there. So welcome you guys, and Alan, Sylvie.
Look,
You've got some weird for Ziggy. Wow.
I found out you were going to be on the show. I ordered it from Amazon.
Oh, wonderful.
Out as far as I know.
Us rock freaks got to hang together.
That is cool. That is cool. And then on the back over there, I see, Sylvie, you have for the Leonard Cohen book you wrote right there, right next to the other side from the sticky fingers, right there. I see that.
There's a poster.
To your right.
The big poster.
Here. Here's a life-size.
That's great. If you could hold that up. Yeah, I'm Your Man, The Life of Leonard Cohen. That looks, look at that.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's bigger than I am. It's like my sort of surrogate Leonard.
That's excellent. And everybody that's watching in the chat, in the description, there is a link to check out anything that you want to check out, like Sylvie's new record, books. You click on the hyperlink, you can go right there. It'll direct you right to the link out there. Yeah, Sylvie, I mean, I got to be honest. I listened last night to your music, and then I listened again. So how I listen to my music is I first listen to the music. Then I have to listen again to the words to capture it. Then I got to listen again. But I got to tell you, I felt the Marian Faithfull thing. And I'm a big fan of hers. It was really nice, easy music, and it made me think. It was almost like I was meditating, making me think about my own life. There's a story over there. So you got a beautiful music on the new record. So
it's very soothing. It's very soothing. And lovely. It really is.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a big thumbs up on that one from me right there.
Yeah.
And it's Sylvie Simmons over there, Blue on Blue. Right there. Very pretty.
That would make sense. That'd be on blue vinyl.
Yeah.
It should be on blue vinyl. Right, Alan? Huh? What do you say, Alan? Huh? Right?
Yes, I would. Either that or blue marble vinyl.
That would be sweet.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Love that.
It was a Dave Mason record that was like marble.
Yeah, and these guys went to Walmart. They're getting all their kids vinyl as we speak, splatted and all this great stuff out there, right? You guys are very happy. You're all set for Christmas, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the clear ones that were colored. Somewhere I got a Elvis Costello, My Funny Valentine. That's
Do you really? Do you really?
Here you go, Alan. Check this out. They did a great job on the Fleetwood Mac. Look at this.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Love it.
that's
Looks
a cool, that's
great.
a cool one.
Hey, Stefan, Alan wasn't joking. That banana record with the banana on it is super
Oh, yeah.
expensive.
Is it
Super-
really?
Super expensive.
Yes.
You're-
Really?
I mean,
What's it going for, Pat?
I got to say that the quality of the disc, remember, this is a record I bought when it came out.
Well,
So there's a lot of turns on my record player where you put quarters on top of the arm. So
well, if it was darn near mint or sealed, you're looking at probably like a $3,000 record.
whoa,
Yeah.
well, it's
Yeah.
not in great shape.
Yeah.
So I hear
Yeah, but the cover alone, though. I mean,
The cover.
Let me see the cover. Let me see the cover again, Alan, on that.
Wow. I mean, I've never seen an original with the banana still on it like that.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
had.
It looks, your cover looks pretty good condition. Let me see.
Yeah, and the
let's see
inside's a
spelling.
little cracked. And by the way, this is the original vinyl.
Ugh. Alan, can you show us the vinyl?
wow.
Yeah, the label on it. Oh wow.
That doesn't look too bad.
That doesn't look that
No, it
bad.
looks
to be
pretty
honest
clean,
with
man.
you.
Yeah.
Really
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
And there's no candle wax on it. There's no incense burns.
No incense.
No, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Right.
Up, Sylvie's digging.
So, no, Sylvia's got something here.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. She's coming back. She's coming back on you.
See,
I think you ought to let him do a lightning round, Stefan.
you know what? I know. I want to see around.
I have to say,
Everybody wants it, man.
I
Let him
know.
go one round.
They want
Seriously,
it.
man. Everybody wants it. You guys
how are you
want
gonna
it?
score
You
it?
guys
How are
put
you
it out
gonna
there?
score it? How are you going to score it?
You can't score it right now.
this is really weird. It was the first edition of a book on Brian Wilson where they put a picture of Carl Wilson.
No way.
Oh, wow.
Sylvie, wow.
Excellent.
It's like it's pretty embarrassing for Brian, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know what?
How did that even pass? Publication.
It went out and everything.
Really?
Wow.
Well, that's not in print anymore, is it? That
No,
They-
second
corrected it?
they took it off. I think I let
oh, that's excellent. Wow.
I
That's
bought
cool.
it And it is, yeah. And it's the same
Wow,
as
that's crazy.
nice. Wouldn't it be nice if you had the right person on the cover?
You know, it's
Wow.
funny you pulled them up because these
Right.
guys are big Kiss fans. So when I was a kid and around the Dynasty tour, I wanted this, and I told the story many times, but I'm telling to you, Sylvie, I wanted to see the Kiss Dynasty, and my dad took me to see. He was a manager for a jockey in Belmont and Aqueduct in New York. So the Beach Boys, Endless Summer Tour, and Dennis Wilson was still live. It was like 79, I think it was, 78.
Yeah.
And I got to see the free show at Aqueduct Racetrack, and it was right in the front of the stage. And Dennis Wilson, I'll never forget, came out with his raspy voice, "You Are So Beautiful." At the time, I wasn't really getting it, but then now, that's my favorite concert I ever been to my whole life.
Wow.
And
I appreciate
just
it
to
more.
see that, it just was a great concert. So, you know, Kiss, I got to see many times, but that was something. Dennis Wilson, one of my favorite records is Pacific Ocean, I think it is. Is that the name? What's
Pacific Blue.
Pacific Blue? That's
Blue,
it.
yeah.
Great album. Great album. Then I have the one that they re-released.
Yeah, I just got that. Somebody sent it to me. I haven't opened it yet, but I did get it.
It's just
So
great album.
also the album Carl and the Passion is So Tough that has two Dennis Wilson songs on that are just heartbreaking.
Oh,
Yeah.
That Dennis song, he wrote really with his heart, and it's so raw the way he wrote it. It's one of my favorite songwriters, the way he was, you know, that his emotions in it, fabulous. You know, so I'm a big Wilson fan, but I just got that, and thank you for the super chat. My thing is a little slow, so wait, hold on. VTech 666, thank you very much. Hit and run lightning round. Come on, I can't.
Lightning round?
They want to do a lightning round. I mean, we could do
Okay.
one. I'll you know what? Okay.
I do a lot of rock criticism.
All right. We're gonna hit and run. There it goes.
Up to the camera, and I do these topics. And I'm working on one now about my favorite record store of all time, which is Village Oldies.
Yes.
in Bleecker Bob's. And I bought a lot of records there, and I bought a lot of psychedelic music there. So here's a lightning round of psychedelic albums. You decide whether it's a good record or not, okay?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Right? It's got that cover.
Is that a mono or stereo?
I think it's stereo.
It'll say it on it.
Stereo.
It'll say stereo, but the mono doesn't say mono.
He's a rainbow.
Stereo.
Stereo, yeah. Most of them are mono ones are super rare.
Yeah, you know how I got this record? I traded Disraeli gears in the NYU dorms for a tab of mescaline and $5, and I went and I bought this record.
That was nice. Okay.
Okay, here's another
Grape, second album, Grape Jam.
second album.
That's good.
Except the fact that you have to
Wow.
change the speed. I don't know whose idea it was to change the speed of the record.
Yes. 78.
Okay, this is a really good psychedelic record.
Love it.
Love.
Yep. Okay. Buffalo Spring. Okay,
Lovely
okay.
cover.
Bluebird is one of my fave songs ever.
Okay. Village Oldies, the record spawned by Village Oldies, and one of the great
Yes.
Yeah.
nuggets.
Was Lenny working there when you were going there, Alan? Did you know Lenny? at that
Yes,
time?
I did. And I have a record here that Lenny gave me. Okay, so I'm there, and I'm a regular customer, okay? And
Thank you, Linda.
I'm in there, and Lenny says, "Do you have this record?" And I say, "Oh, yeah, I have it. I bought it here." He goes, "Oh, well, it's been remixed. Here, take this one. It's the remix."
They did a remix?
How great is that?
Oh my God. I didn't know they even remixed that record back then. Wow.
Back then. Okay, a band, let's, not so sure about.
Love the Fudge.
Ah.
That was my first rock and roll show, the Vanilla Fudge.
Wow.
Okay, now one of their records is the one where they do Beethoven's Sonata.
Yeah.
Yeah, that record, and they read from the Bible. That's not
That's not a good record. His first record's awesome, though.
Yeah.
The great engineer Shelley Yakis engineered that, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Shelley that did, worked with Ivy in all those years, did the Patti Smith stuff, the early Patti Smith stuff, Tom Petty. Shelley's a great engineer, and I believe he did. I don't know if he has credit on it, but I believe he did engineer that first Vanilla Fudge record. I love that record.
The Beatles upped the stakes, right? Beatles,
Beatles, yeah.
Sgt.
Yeah.
Pepper. You had to,
You
so
have to
they
have
have to
it.
do this, right?
And the book you have in that? Is the book
And I got
intact?
the booklet.
The booklet's intact?
You got the booklet and still inside of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Didn't I pull out my EP once? My
The other album I bought and ate the mescaline and listened to is this one.
Oh, I love After Bathing at Baxter's.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, I love it. I love that. I even had the 8-track of that sucker, and I would listen to that while driving into New York City. After Bathing at Baxter's, love After Bathing at Baxter's, and the fabulous engineer Al Schmidt.
Oh, this is a really, really good record.
I love it.
And the Airplane were a great live band. You know.
Yeah.
I was.
Let's get a jukebox jury on this one.
Oh yeah, good.
I have the original on that too.
Isn't
Oh,
it like
that's
a fairy tale, Happiness Stan or something?
Oh man.
Happiness Stan.
It's not gone. Yeah, good old English tobacco.
That
This
is
is-
cool.
Oh yeah,
Another one.
yeah,
Oh,
man.
wonderful album.
Alan's
Absolutely brilliant.
And when this album came out, we thought nothing could ever top this. The sounds on this record, nothing. Right?
Oh man, Revolver. That's what it was.
That summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my original one.
Nice.
That is the original. That's cool.
Wow,
That
that's
is cool.
cool,
I
Alan.
still have that.
Alan, you don't have a butcher cover, do you?
I was just going to ask him that.
My friend Ted does.
The butcher cover. Yeah. I can't. Wow. Look at it.
Very
Oh, Steve
psychedelic.
Miller.
Children of the Future.
Yeah.
Psychedelic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the inside.
Oh, it's a cutout too.
Oh,
Look at
wow.
Oh, wow.
And
that.
Very
Did Glenn,
if there is, this is a rarity. It's not really rare, but if the Grateful Dead made a record that was too psychedelic, it would be this one.
Anthem.
This is an original. It's all worn out. And
Alan, pull out
Alan,
the
I
volume
got a
here.
question for you. I'm waiting for you to pull it up.
Mhm.
there you go. This is a great record.
Yeah, man.
Boy, they were a great live band.
They were.
I saw them many, many times. You know, I'm running out here.
Uh-oh. You better say.
Okay, one of
he
my
hasn't pulled it up
all-time
yet.
favorites. All-time favorite psychedelic record.
Oh, I love the record.
You know,
That's the Amer-
this
Go ahead, Sylvie.
Yeah, Sylvie, you must love this.
oh, of course, and I was been listening to this all the time. The Low Spark of High Heel Boys.
Oh,
Now that's the American version of Mr. Fantasy. The
Let's
British
see that,
version.
Sylvie. Let me hold
Wow.
hold that up for a
you
second.
got an octagon or whatever it is. Yes.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
trippy cover.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a trippy cover.
Album.
That's a perfect record.
Alan, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You're bringing up your psychedelic albums. Do you have the 13th floor elevator?
Oh.
I might. I'd have to look through everything. I kind of, I heard the song on Nuggets, and I kind of liked the band, but I didn't love it. Yeah, that's the British one.
Yes.
Mm.
Good.
I've got a, not that they're similar, but I do have the Blues Magoo's Psychedelic Lollipop,
I have that as well.
which
I have that.
Steve Van Zandt says is his favorite name of any record ever.
Psychedelic Lollipop. How can you go wrong with that?
I've got like probably this. To me, this band was like the original freak folk, psychedelic folk thing that came out when I was about 14. The Incredible String Band.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
They
And
played the Fillmore
Sounds like
all the
nice
time.
stuff.
We love them. That's a great record.
it's absolutely heavenly. I remember going to see them at a venue called the Roundhouse in London, which at that time was super cheap to get in, and they would always let girls in for free anyway. And around the edge, stage room that was round, of course, and these sort of corridors that were around where there always were people with hash and everything to give you to smoke or to sell you. And I remember seeing them on the stage, and people kept jumping up on the stage, and there'll be children and wives, and it was amazing. And I remember hearing the first time that I heard them sing, I hear that the Emperor of China used to wear iron shoes with ease. We are the tablecloth, and also the table, and also the fable of the dancing leaves. And I thought, I love this so much. It was an acid and it was gone.
They were pretty favorites at the Fillmore.
Here's a guess what?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
See, I've got like 3 or 4 of their records.
Me too. I got probably all of them. Actually, I love it that much.
I've got a little bit of an incredible band story. So I would go in the dressing rooms and get the bands whatever they wanted, and we loved the Incredible String Band. They were so sweet. So I go up there and I go, guys, can I go get you something to eat? And they said, I'll go down to the deli. We got whatever you want. And I said, yes, we'd like some mead.
Somewhat.
I can't top that. I'll get you a jar of honey and some dark beer, and it's up to you. Our favorite band for food was Crosby, Stills, and Nash because they did so much blow. They never ate anything, so we ate.
So you thought everybody?
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you could say it. Trust me.
Can I say that out loud?
Yeah, you could say it. You could say it.
Well, I
And
Backstage with
another
that
favorite.
brown M&Ms. I've seen plenty of that going on. All of the fights backstage and what they win and what
Oh,
they
God.
I love those things.
That's funny. That's
So
funny.
Ravi Shankar. Right? Ravi Shankar plays the Fillmore. We put a beautiful carpet down. We got incense and the flowers. And I go to Ravi's dressing room. And I said, Ravi, you got an hour and a half before the show. Or I said, Mr. Shankar, I think. Would you like me to go get you something to eat? Because on 6th Street, there's some fine Indian food. And he goes, I think not. I think maybe a cheese Danish from Ratner's. 2 or 3 of them.
A little bit of a sweet tooth there.
I was on the road with Iron Maiden and we were going behind the Iron Curtain when there was an Iron Curtain still on this tour. And I think the boys were getting a bit homesick and they'd got cans of English baked beans, which are very different from American baked beans, except for the tomatoey sort of equivalent. And I was holding it under a hot tap for them to try and heat it up so that they could have some beans on toast.
Sylvie, what year was that?
That would have been somewhere in the 80s, just before Glasnost and stuff. So about 88.
88.
We need to get less people. Anybody here? Yeah, they were playing places like Czechoslovakia when it was still Czechoslovakia. And
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing.
What tour was that, Pat?
I think that was
There was
Somewhere
that.
in Time, wasn't it?
Power.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
which it was. I just remember them playing five-a-side football and things, soccer, as you would call it, and with some of the locals, and it was pretty wild.
Yeah, great band. I remember seeing Quiet Riot open up for Maiden at Madison Square Garden. I remember seeing that show.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was like 16, I think, 17. Yeah, just a young pup. Man, a lot of good stories, man. A lot of fun stories. Sylvie, Allan just showed some good vinyl here. Do you want to show? Let's match up.
I was being very kind of just taking some that meant a lot to me, but I shall show those for sure.
That's what it's about right there, Sylvie.
Yeah,
Right there.
Okay, the most recent one would be this one.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
The Melody Nelson, which was Serge Gainsbourg, the guy I wrote a book about. And why I did that was that I'd moved to France for a few years. And at that time, I was really savage about French pop music, as most British and American critics would be. I mean, they think our food is crap. We think their music is crap. But when I just about as soon as I got there, Serge Gainsbourg died, and everybody was going, "Oh my God, he was our Baudelaire, he was our Verlaine," and they had flags at half mast. And I remembered when I was a kid, hearing the one song he had that was in England called Je t'aime.
Oh, yes.
Sounded like somebody having sex to a sort of slow, cheesy kind of. It was lovely. I thought I've got that on a single. And so a friend that I'd made down there came over with a big pile of vinyl and said, "Listen to this before you diss Gainsbourg." And when I got to that album, my mind was blown. It's a concept album. His concept albums make Who look like, I don't know, the Reader's Digest or something. They're so nuts. And in this one, there's Serge driving a Rolls Royce through a bad street in Paris. And there's a girl who's about 14 years old going past on a bicycle. He knocks her off a bike accidentally. She flies in the air. Her skirt flies up in the air. She has no knickers on. And so he knows she's a natural redhead and decides that he needs to take her to a hotel where they make love. And they fall in love. And then at some point, she kind of gets homesick for London and flies back. Then the plane crashes in the water, and somehow or other, he has to get a cargo cult, apparently some African thing, to try and get her back. And then
Oh my God!
The story of Histoire de Melody Nelson, but the music is just gorgeous, absolutely drop dead gorgeous. So that was that one. This is
Oh, great.
Wow.
my favorite Neil Young album, with On the Beach tying really for first place.
Great cover.
I love him. I wrote a book on Neil, so I obviously like him. This was a person whose song that I sang and froze on when I tried to be a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
So I think that was just wonderful. There's not a bad track on it, and she plays everything, and it's just mind-blowingly good. And there was an era where everybody had that album. Like everybody had the first Leonard Cohen album. Everybody had Joni Mitchell's album back in.
And Sweet Baby James.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, these sort of.
I think all dormitory rooms came with those three.
All the guys who tried to pick you up would have those to play them for the girls, because they'd obviously had some secret kind of conversations that it would work. And generally it did. And this one, because you mentioned that,
The band. I love that. Yeah, I love
this
that.
album just blew my mind. I mean, I've played it to death. I think it's hardly playable anymore. I wore all the grooves to half an inch thick. What's this one?
Wow.
Well, this is one of my favorite albums ever.
Oh, mine. Yes, hands down. Yes,
yeah.
great record.
Lights got it. Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on.
Yeah,
Great.
That's a great record.
I met him once. I didn't interview him, but I met him at
Really?
event in LA that the record company was throwing, and he got up there and he sang the Lord's Prayer.
Whoa!
It was like, I'm not a very religious person, but I would have signed up to any god that he was in at that moment. My beloved, my true beloved, Leonard Cohen, Songs of Love and Hate, kind of most, I guess, brutal songs that he was doing, but some of the most beautiful, Joan of Arc and Famous Blue Raincoat, and all those brilliant songs that I love to sing. So Leonard Cohen, I discovered him, well, I didn't discover him, others beat me to it, but I discovered him on a compilation album that I have still in the collection called The Rock Machine Turns You On. And it was a compilation of CBS Records artists. So I think the opening track was Dylan, I'll Be Your Baby Tonight. And it was just these great things. Moby Grape was on there, Laura Nero. But I heard Leonard Cohen singing, and it was like being hit with a sledgehammer. Just sitting in my bedroom as a little girl on my portable record player listening. And he hypnotized me, and it never stopped.
Fantastic.
You have a good bunch. Okay, now.
Wait, I have to add a love song record. Go with Sylvie.
Back to my table.
One up. You got a one up.
No, it's not a one up. It's just walking on a wire. This is one of my favorites, Sylvie, from the 80s.
Nice.
That's a good
Alan,
one. Now,
how many
okay.
albums do you think you have in your collection?
Yeah.
What's
Alan,
that?
How many albums do you think you have?
I've not counted. There's one wall full. It's not as big as this. I've got one wall full of one whole wall of LPs and 3 walls of CDs. But I've never actually. I should count them, I guess.
Yeah, I've got about 2,500 vinyl and about 5,000 CDs.
Wow.
And 400 mixtapes that I have. I've only lost one mixtape in my life. It's amazing.
Oh, that's
Wow.
And there was a writer's strike, so I had no work. So I spent 6 weeks transferring them to digital files.
Wow. Oh my.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. When record companies wanted customers and were trying to find ways to do it, so they made these compilation records, because you were talking about that, Sylvie. So Elektra Records put this out. It was called Folk Song 65.
Nice.
And it was 50 cents.
Yep. They were the side parts of it.
Waterfield Blues Band is on it. And Judy Collins, Tom Paxton, Bruce Murdoch, Fred Neil. So they put out this one. And then a couple of months later, they put out an electric one
Select
called
Electra.
What's Shaking.
Oh, they also put out Select Electra, which was a compilation that came out the same year as Rock Machine Turns You On, or the year later. And it had people like Doors and really good bands on it.
Yeah.
That's what
So the
I have that watch. I have that What's Shaking record. Matter of fact, I on one of the showdowns, that was one of my choices. And,
Oh yeah.
and I probably lost a kiss.
that's what
I can go and grab my compilations, but
and I always loved the Love and Spoonful. So
Oh, love them.
they're wonderful.
I happen to have a compilation here from Warner Brothers. One of these Warner Brothers.
Let's see that. I'll think you're Ed. Hold on.
Oh, Warner's had really good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Look at the artists: Joni, Arlo, the Everly Brothers, Sweetwater, Family, Van Morrison, the Kinks, the Prunes, Van Dyke Parks, Newman,
Wow.
the Bugs,
Nice.
What a great label.
yeah,
what a great
Leo, Bro Brummels, Tull, yeah, and Hendrix, and Jimi Hendrix.
Jesus.
I think that's one of the GTOs in the middle there, if I'm not mistaken. One of those like not Miss Pamela, but Miss Vicky. I forgot her name.
And they went from nowhere in 1964. All they had was "Hello Mudda, Hello Fada," and,
That's right.
and Dean Martin, and then they went crazy.
Yeah,
That's
they
pretty
were-
cool album cover.
There's actually a booklet. There's a booklet in here.
Oh,
talking
really?
about everybody.
Wow.
There's a nice. Let me see if I can.
I remember one of their compilations was the first time I heard Randy Newman and Van Dyke Parks.
Yeah, this is early on. This is from. I just saw Joni, and it's a song to a seagull, talking about Joni here. And there's your Neil Young record right there.
Oh yeah.
And then Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere is a choice of that. Randy Newman. It's.
Did you see Neil Young at the Fillmore East?
I did not. I did not.
That was an incredible triple bill.
Oh, what was the bill?
Okay, opening act, Miles Davis with the Bitches Brew Band.
Oh, man.
Damn.
Wow.
The second on the bill was the Steve Miller Band, and the headliner was Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Wow.
Wow, what a show that was.
All for $5.50. Prices went up.
Right.
Oh my
That
god.
included parking, huh?
Wow.
And it does say here they are members of the GTOs. It says it right.
Oh, it is. Pamela.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got a GTO's record.
Do you really?
Yeah. I think it's under G.
Where it should be.
Now, you guys in the audience, I want you guys to get ready because right now what we got here, you see Sylvie's collection, you see Allan. We're just going to do a little quick thing here, right? A little quick thing. George put something up here. What did you put up here, George? George put an artwork up there. One of George put a
man, look at
Marvin
that.
Gaye print up there. Look at that,
Wow.
George.
Beautiful.
George just sent that. So, George, what are you doing with that? You put in the comments. You just had me put it. What's George saying here? Alrighty. So,
sometimes context is everything, right?
Yep.
yes.
So here's my GTOs.
Lovely. Oh yeah, a promotional copy. It's a promo, guys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And right next to it is another kind of weird record. Grupo.
I have that. It was on. They're on Sire.
Yes, that's why I got it.
That's why I have it. They're good.
Your Grupo Sportivo Mistakes. I have that.
Yeah, they're a good band.
Yeah, when we were doing Rock and Roll High School, Seymour put me on the list, and he sent me so much great music.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Very
That's
cool.
I heard the Clash then, and Johnny Thunder's "So Alone," and lots of stuff. That it didn't end up in the movie, but
That Thunder's So Alone. What a great album that is. Actually, on that album, I believe Phil Lynette's on that album. Yeah,
I love that.
Is my internet getting dodgy on everybody right now?
No,
I just heard.
no.
Okay, because I heard me echo. But
Slightly pixelated.
yeah. I'm
Seymour
starting
was
to
like
hear-
a music supervisor. He just kept sending us stuff we put in the movie. You know.
Yeah, what a great album that is. Thunders. I think I was telling Sylvie the story. I remember seeing right before I left LA, moved out of LA. It was on 6th Avenue by the Limelight. Johnny Thunders. It was raining. A guy was paying for the cab. Johnny standing outside the door. Rain. His hair was like Mink DeVille, Willie DeVille, trying to light the cigarette. Right? What's it? Am I off?
No.
I got his hand up.
We're just
Oh.
I have a question. I have a question for the expert. Me and Pat researched this band. I can't seem to find anything on them. Do any of you know who this is?
No, never saw it, never heard of him.
Love. What is this? Let's see.
Young
So-
Nightmare.
Sylvie, you know what?
Sorry.
Never heard of it.
It's a promo album. And I got this, with a batch of records, but no clue who they are.
Oh, so
But
there's
it's in
nobody in the
England.
band that's
It's English.
famous.
Important.
About half of my collection is people that you don't know who they are.
Yes,
No, I've never heard of
Sometimes those are the best, though.
Yeah, they're
I've got one of those.
yeah, I actually have a lot of them because during the late 80s, early 90s, when the records I was producing became very popular, I would always go to the record companies and see what was going on. And they would always hand me these, give me a stack of records that I brought home. And they're still not even open. You still haven't heard of these people.
Yeah.
So many people were signed at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Alan, do you have that Guru album, the UFO? It's a psych record, I believe.
No, I don't. No,
Okay.
but I have seen Hawkwind
Oh yeah. Oh, wow.
yeah.
with all the strobes and shit.
Wow. Yeah.
Was Lemmy in the band at that time?
What?
Was Lemmy in Hawkwind at the time you saw
I
him?
don't know. It was pretty early.
Yeah.
It's like 72.
He may have been. in the band.
I
Yeah,
moved
yeah,
to
he might have
England
been,
then. I was
Yeah.
doing light shows then, and we were at a place called the Rainbow Theater.
Yeah,
in
we
Kingsbury
did it.
Park.
It's alive. We did
Yeah.
It's alive there.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to pull something up for Sylvie. I have a question. While we have Sylvie here, I'm going to go to because her webpage she has some really good pictures. I can't put all the pictures, everything down here. So let's see if I could pull this up really quick right here. Hold on. Watch this, you guys, because I need to ask Sylvie some questions here. Since it's late at night, we're among friends, right, Sylvie? Sylvie, can you see this right here?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, right here we got is that Johnny? You and Johnny Cash right here, of course, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
What a great picture, right? Oh yeah. But I got to ask, right underneath here, what is going on in this picture right here? These two guys kissing you. Okay.
Or two of them.
I'm sorry. What is that?
Two members of Iron Maiden reacting to my interview questions.
Ah,
Outside
look
of
at
the swimming pool at the Sunset Market. The Sunset was one of the sort of regular places that the rock bands used to hang out when they gave up on the so-called Hyatt House. And they would sit by the pool and I'd do interviews and I'm seeing their all demure and dressed.
Rock and
And
rollers, babe.
It looked like Tommy Lee right there. This guy.
who does?
This guy right here with the long hair. I thought it was Tommy Lee right there, right here. And it looked like Tommy Lee and Iggy Pop for a second. I'm like looking.
There's Nikki Sixx a bit further down next to me in a couch.
Right over here, I see the Nikki Sixx, right? Nikki Sixx holding you.
Yeah,
And then
in
you
a
got
appropriate manner by the look of it. Yes, yes. That was, I guess, back in the old days, you didn't wait for an Uber to pick you up. The band will pick you up after.
that's right. So you got Robin Crosby, Blackie Lawless. It looks like in the picture,
Wow.
and it looks like Randy Piper. Looks like from Wasp. Then underneath,
Yeah.
Rod Stewart. There's you with Rod Stewart interviewing. That's
That was one of my really early interviews. And
Oh, Steve Earle.
and then you got Steve
Oh.
Earle right there, which is a great
Love
one.
Steve Earle.
playing a ukulele. I was trying to get together a ukulele march for Obama to try to get the uke vote for Obama during, before his election. So I was saying, be a strummer for Obama. And immediately Steve Earle said, I'll be in that picture. And there he is with a uke of mine.
That's great. That's wonderful. A friend of the show, Danny Goldberg, works with Steve, and then right there, you got Rick Nielsen right there of Cheap Trick. Very cool picture.
Hell yeah.
So much live at Budokan. I've worn that album out too.
Love it. Yeah.
Great album.
One of my
Great. This is
favorite bands.
This is great. So anybody that wants to see Sylvie Simmons, this is her webpage. This is a couple of things you could see on there. Go check it out. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Now we're showing this. I'm going to stop the screen share in 1 second right here. Man, one day when I get rich and famous like Martin Scorsese, I'm going to hire a producer to get rid of all this stuff. But I want you guys right now, give a little vote. You saw Allan's over here. You saw his collection right there, right? Then you see over here, you had Sylvie's collection. You know what? You guys now go in there. Give us a Sylvie or Allan. Write up the names. Let's see. We'll do a head count right now. Really quick, you guys, before we get out of here. Put the names up there. Show us the love in the chat. Whose selection won for the evening? And what shall they win tonight? George, put some art up. He's putting art up over here, George. What are they going to win tonight? Well, you got a Marvin Gaye picture that George could send to somebody.
That's nice.
Says I love
Nice.
That's right. So the winner will get shipped out a Marvin Gaye picture. So what do you got over there, George? Come on. You guys in the comments, let's see what they got
I'm
going
trying
on.
to count on my fingers.
Can you count for me? Okay, you're since my wife, we don't have the stream yet. You're the counter. Ed, let's
Me?
put the camera on Ed. Yeah. Sylvie and Alan are your friends. If they get
good
mad, let them get mad at you.
That's what you get.
I don't want
Get the
to.
magnifying glass out. Look sexy, Ed. Go. Go. Ed, are you counting? Ed, come on.
Ed, remember who your friends are.
Yeah, remember who your friends are. Come on, Ed. What's it look like over there, Ed? Help me out. Ed's counting everybody. While Ed's counting over there, Ed's gonna kill me.
It's very much so a tie. We got a lot of.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Do I have
Oh,
to
you
go get a closer?
It's
Do I got
hold
to go get a closer?
Hold on, we got
What if they
Sylvie
do a
Glory.
tiebreaker, one album to one album? A
I got
tiebreaker.
one more thing.
Okay, this
One
will be
more
a tie. Will be a tiebreaker.
Album to tie break.
Yeah,
One record.
go get it,
One
Sylvie.
Look at this. Let's see what they going there.
I am the only living director to work with Joey Ramone and
Uh-oh.
this guy.
Let's go up there. Uh-oh.
Oh, well, okay. We're coming up with the pieces of trivia now.
Oh.
I might have
Whoa.
to join this.
How about that?
That's
And
pretty
he
cool.
called me kid.
Hey, kid.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
He said
man.
you did good, kid.
You did good, kid. That's pretty cool. Alan,
That's a great photo.
Alan, you pulled out two good ones today. That and the Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What do we have here from Sylvie?
Oh, Sylvie just pulled something.
Oh,
the
so
big
we
guns.
got heavy metal thunder here.
Lift it. I'm not strong enough. Hang on. We need a boy in the house. Okay, Cash has all these LPs, and there's a stomping great book in it that I wrote with Johnny.
Oh,
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
There it is.
Oh, while she does that, look at the picture of her and Johnny right there, everybody. So choose your votes wisely right now, people out there. This is Talking Wax. Let's see.
You might see the end of me as I fall
I
over.
mean, remember, remember.
Like her
Who you're
shirt
voting
says,
for. Remember, we're pulling out the big guns here. Remember, right? Okay.
This is like
Remember.
all the
All right, come on, let's go.
the old-fashioned 78s.
Wow.
This
wow.
thing, me talking,
wow, that is fantastic.
this
Wow.
big was me talking with Johnny, and everybody who'd worked with him, like Nick Cave and
Oh, wow.
Will Oldham and Tom Petty and some brilliant people.
Look what they're saying right here in the audience. What's the audience saying?
Sylvie,
Carla, you are Audrey, I love you.
sorry, Alan.
It's okay. It's okay.
We love Frank and we love you, but this is
Yes, with
Sylvie.
a ukulele.
Oh,
My goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at
I love the girls. Girls.
Yes, go.
Johnny B is right here. Oh my goodness. That is pretty good.
it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Alan
right.
is
That's
dazed.
right.
He's in the ring. Oh my goodness. You know, this wizard, what does this mean? What does this mean, wizard? What does this mean?
Where's the hat,
What does this
wizard?
mean? Where's the hat?
Me and her were stripping the walls of our apartments bare. You know.
I wasn't
my
expecting
goodness.
a throwdown, so
I wasn't
man,
expecting
this is literally a bloodbath. Woo!
Oh my
She's
goodness.
got Alan against those ropes and beating the heck out of him with that.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Wait a minute. I
goodness.
Silver. She wins. Okay.
All right.
Gentleman, Alan.
I want to come back for an encore. Can I do an encore?
Yeah.
Yes, of course you can. Of course you can.
Of course, I'll do an
Uh-oh.
encore. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to
Okay.
put this for the encore.
All right,
Here
go ahead. Go ahead.
I think I'll join in.
All right, go. Did you join?
of our free record
You got
company.
him fired up.
I went on the road with Black Sabbath, and this
Oh,
is
yes.
Black Sabbath Frisbee.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
that's
Look
cool.
at
Very
that!
rare thing. It says
Wow!
Black Sabbath Tour of the Black Mass, September
Wow.
1979.
Oh,
That's
That's a cool
79?
promo line.
Yep.
I've never seen
Still
that.
works. Still works.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool.
I mean, look,
Look what you're getting over here. What's going on here, Wizard? What's going on?
I mean, look, I mean, the promotional frisbee. Oh my goodness, Black Sabbath. What the heck is going on here?
Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Uh-oh, what's he got there? Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
The video I did with Bet and Mick.
Oh,
for Beat the
Wow.
Burden. And then
Wow.
Movies and Get Crazy.
Yeah.
There's another Frank one.
Okay. Oh,
That's heavy.
And then I was directing on my birthday a soul singer on Ally McBeal, and he sang Happy Birthday to me with the whole crew, and I wish I had it on film.
Oh, my
Oh, man.
Mm.
Oh,
I remember that episode.
that's so
Alan, I remember that episode. You directed that one, huh?
Yes, I did. I directed The
Wow.
Dancing Baby, too.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. The dancing baby
I
was
heard
huge.
Yeah, Dancing Baby
This
was
is
huge.
huge. Look at this. This is Laura G. Just goes, look at this. Wizard. Look what she just said. This is serious. I've got my popcorn and everything. Wizard, what do we got here?
We have ourselves a freaking match here. We didn't even expect for this one. Are you kidding me? Look at this.
Look what the people are saying here. We hit the jackpot tonight, kids. Look at this. The kid, he's like VTech 666. Oh my God, Trey Hawker. People are going crazy now in the chat. They just woke up. They just got
Great.
insane.
Great.
They
Look,
love it.
warming
That,
up.
that just got me energized. I don't
Wait
know
a
about you
second,
guys.
Uh-oh.
Ed just went to the archives. What do you got here, Ed?
Uh-oh.
Well, I took a walk down the hall. And he walked
Uh-oh.
on down the hall.
Down the hall.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
He looked in the room where his sister lived.
And then he said, okay, well, I have two producers that I have admired since I was a kid. First one being the first producer I was aware of when I got a record by the Crystals, and then he kissed me. There was a fellow, it said produced by Phil Spector, engineer Larry Levine.
Mm.
And, as several of you, well, all of you know that worked with Mr. Spector with the Ramones on the end of the century, which is could take up 3 hours in itself.
Yeah.
Right?
I always wanted a back to mono button. And on the last day of recording Joey's vocals, and Alan actually came down for an evening and spent a little time with us.
Yeah.
Sitting on that control room couch and being sort of not greeted by Mr. Spector. If I recall.
No, and he had invited me and then screamed at me for showing up.
Anyway,
What?
that's a whole other story next time or in a little while. But first, so I asked Phil a week or two into the project. Did I say this already? I don't know. For a back to mono button. And on the last day, he hands me an envelope. And in that envelope was this piece of paper.
Oh, man.
From the
Oh,
wow.
Spector, Ed and Joy with my back to mono button that I proudly wore for quite a few. I'm glad I didn't lose it, with a little signing on there with Phil.
Wow.
Wow.
Very cool, man. Very cool, Ed.
cute.
Yeah. And I'm just, we're just pulling out rock and roll shit right now.
No, that's cool.
Hating it all. But my other favorite producer is Mr. George Martin, of course,
Mm.
all the Beatles records.
Mhm.
And he did a talk on the making of Sgt. Pepper at the Hollywood, was it the Palladium? The Palace. The date's not on here, but it was in the early 90s. And Mr. George Martin, best wishes, George Martin.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
man. Oh man. I gotta pull something out now. I have a picture somewhere
you
of
guys
me
got
and
some cool stuff.
hold on. I can't let Ed beat me. I can't hold on, everybody. I got this is my show. I got
I
Alan with the dancing-
got an Ed Stasium story, but I don't want to share it.
Wait a second here. Wait a second. What am I hold on. What do we got here? What about me with Brian May?
yeah.
There I am. Brian May and
Oh,
Slim Jim Phantom. There I am. There. I
Nice.
just slam dunk everybody.
That's good. That's very
Same
good.
old picture. I had to do something.
Yeah.
Where's your George Martin picture at,
I
Stefan?
can't find it, George.
I meet Ed, and we're recording tracks for Rock and Roll High School. I think that's the day I met you.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
I was at Cherokee.
Yeah, we were at Cherokee.
Wow.
Great.
Okay,
city.
so we got to record. I Want You Around, and 2 versions of Rock and Roll High School, I
Great
think.
stuff.
I remember watching that on HBO.
Yeah.
And so we do, I Want You Around, we do
Rock and Roll High.
most of Rock and Roll High School, and then PJ Souls comes in to do her version to the Ramones tracks. And it's the wrong key for her. And so Ed just asked the guys to transpose it. And within about 2 or 3 minutes, he realized, being the excellent producer that he is, that they can't do that. And so he says, guys, we haven't had any Top Tacos for a couple days. Go to Top Tacos. I got some stuff to do here. So they go to Top Tacos, and Ed played every part in the PJ Souls version of Rock and Roll High School in the hour that the Ramones were gone.
Oh, that's a
Wow.
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 Way to go, Ed.
I was
Way
so
to
Very cool, Ed.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty
The only thing
crazy.
he kept was the drum track.
That's right. Yeah. And it was fun. We did it quick. Yeah.
Quick!
You slide dog, you.
PJ Souls, man.
I went to the bathroom and missed 2 verses.
PJ Souls. Where's
Thanks
the,
for
let me
telling-
pull a picture of her.
Thanks for
with
telling
Alan
that,
over
Alan. That's I always forget about that little incident. Thank you.
Man, Ed, you are
Great
a
stories,
true
guys.
legend. Edward today, before you guys came on, he was saying, "Oh my God, you got Alan, you have Sylvie. These are real legends, not like nothing that nothing I've done." And I'm always tell Ed, you are a legend, and you really, Ed,
He is.
you're, not only you're a legend, you're a wonderful friend, and I'm so honored that you're a part of my life, my friend. You really, you're one of the good guys, man.
You're too damn sweet.
You're one of the good guys over here, but. I'll tell you one thing. When I was a kid, I did have a crush, and I'll tell you what. It was PJ from Halloween. Look at her. Look at that. Look at that picture. That's a great picture right there, huh?
Nice.
I love that picture.
That's a great one. Yeah, I used to have a mad crush on her. Yeah,
We all
great
did.
Cult film. What a great film. The stuff that you guys all did. Sylvie, Alan, Ed. It's an honor to have you here. You know what?
Oh,
you guys,
thank you.
thank you.
Really
Thank you
fun.
so much.
Awesome.
A lot of
I
fun.
feel like we were all hanging out, you know.
That's what's great about this show. It's camaraderie. We're hanging out Saturday night. We can't go anywhere.
Yep.
We're not in studios working. We're not making films. We're not, going to gigs. We're not on the road. Here we are Saturday night with our friends and just having a good old time. Showing our
This
vinyl.
is great. The people in the audience, thank you guys, everybody in the chat.
And I'm going to do a little reading before I go to bed tonight.
That's what we're gonna do. You know,
Look
everybody
at
in
her,
the
a fellow guest plugging someone else.
chat. It's wonderful.
Oh, Linda Foster, thank you. Love you too. Love you back.
Yeah.
Yay.
Look at that. Great time. Everybody had a good time. You guys right here in the chat, just hold on 1 second. Everybody in the audience, we love you. You know what? Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you, Jeff Davidson, everybody for everything you do, watching us. Go in the chat, and I believe over this will be sent to you, Sylvie, from George the artist. So I will need
to somebody.
yeah. So George, that's our local artist, and he is going to send us. So I'll get your address, and we'll get that to you. All that good stuff. I want to thank everybody. Let me just roll the credits. We'll get out of here if I could find it. Otherwise than that, we'll be here next week talking wax with the games, the vinyl, and all that good stuff. We got to get Sylvie and Alan. We got to do a real match with them. Because this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This was like a master class.
Uh-oh.
Now let me warn you guys, Alan, Sylvie, this was tame tonight. We were on good behavior. I wanted to impress you guys. I was quiet. But I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna get crazy if you guys play, right, Ed?
Is there like a training thing I could do to get ready?
Ed?
You've been in training for 50 years, Alan.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do I know what I could train by. I'm going to listen to Metal Machine music from beginning to end.
This is the training. Tonight was the training.
Well, that's an in joke.
That was the training. All right, you guys hold on right there. Everybody, we'll see you Monday, next week, all that good stuff. We love you. Remember, everybody, mazel. Much love to you all. Have a great weekend.
Chalk and wax. Chalk and wax. All right.